The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey!
What?
Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. Ah! The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Sport! Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this massive Monday, June 24th, 2024. This program starts right now. Sports! The greatest thing on earth, and today is a massive day in sports history. Not only do we have a Game 7 in the NHL Stanley Cup final down in Florida, who were once in the lead 3-0 in this series. Now, the Edmonton Oilers with McDavid, Draisaitl, and Stuart Skinner standing on his head have evened the odds, and we have a Game 7 in which we can make history. For the first time in potentially 82 years, a team could be down 3-0 in the finals and come back and win it in Game 7. The team that ended up losing in 1942, just so we can remember this forever, the Detroit Red Wings. Come on. Yeah, they were up 3-0, and the Toronto Maple Leafs came all the way back and won in a Game 7. That happened in 1942. That's the last time the team has come back from being down 3-0 and winning the entire thing. And then in 1945, a team was up 3-0. Then it was 3-3. And then the team that was up at the beginning would go on to remain and win the Stanley Cup in Game 7. That's the last time a team was up 3-0, gets all the way back to a Game 7, and ends up winning it. The team that did that in 1945, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Okay. They're up 3-0. Then the Detroit Red Wings come fighting back. And then the Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Detroit Red Wings in Game 7. So the Red Wings on the wrong side of history for both of these things. But tonight, history will be made regardless of the outcome. Will Connor McDavid continue this climb to the top of the mountain with putting an entire country on his back, his legacy to be created, and win in a Game 7? Or will Kachuk and the boys down in Florida be as dominant as they were throughout the entirety of this playoffs, including the first 3 games of this series, and win the first ever Stanley Cup for Sunrise, Florida? A lot on the line. Cannot wait to watch tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC. PK Subban joining us in the second hour. He's been on every show this morning on ESPN, as has Steve Levy and Moose Mark Messier. Yeah. The ESPN push behind hockey has been very real as of late because hockey is awesome.
That's right.
And tonight, hockey makes history. Also today, we have Game 3 of the best of 3 for the College Baseball World Series National Championship happening in Omaha. Game 1 happened on Friday, Saturday. Texas A&M beat the dog shit out of Tennessee. Just beat the shit out of them. Tennessee was the number 1 team in the country. This was the team that was supposed to win. Heard their coach talking and giving an interview about the development of his players through college baseball and the NIL, where guys are sticking in college as opposed to maybe going to the minor leagues or to other leagues. College baseball should really reap the benefits of the NIL and the way the world is going. And they talked about how they got guys all around the yard. In the infield, they look like outfielders. And in the outfielders, they look like DNs. We got monsters going through a college baseball system, and the sport's only getting better and better. And then Texas A&M said, that's funny, and beat the shit out of them.
Yep, killed them.
McGee was down there.
Oh, yeah.
He loves Tennessee Volunteers, who have never, I think since 19-something, never won a World Series, a College World Series. They had Clay Travis down there. They had Peyton Manning down there.
Yeah.
They had everybody that has ever gone to the University of Tennessee in Omaha to celebrate, head over to Rocco's, buy some jelly shots.
Why?
They get their ass beat. Then Game 2, guess what? Tennessee says, hold the phone. That ain't us. They come back, beat the shit out of Texas A&M. And tonight, now we have a Game 3. Will Tennessee continue to ride the momentum of Game 2? Who will become the national champ? Who will win the College World Series this year? And in Game 3 fashion, I expect it's going to be aces pitching against aces. I expect it to be a tight one. Or maybe both bats will get hot, just like each of the teams have done in different games. Game 3 and a best of 3 tonight, 7 p.m. on ESPN.
Wow. Hell yeah.
And tonight, Monday Night Raw is in Indianapolis, Indiana. In the middle of about 1,000 different storylines, one of the biggest is the fact that Indianapolis has inked a deal with the WWE for the Royal Rumble to come to Lucas Oil Stadium, SummerSlam to come to Lucas Oil Stadium, and WrestleMania will be coming to Lucas Oil Stadium here in Indianapolis. So it's obviously a massive Monday. We can't thank you enough for joining us. We hope you had a fantastic weekend. The Toxic Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Con man, big news all around the yard here in sports right now in the middle of June. This is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, incredible. And all those things were awesome. I mean, can we talk about how it's our sport again? I mean, prolific off the draw for Team
Captain
USA
America.
right away on the Bolivians. I figured maybe Bolivia came in a little nervous because they were playing the greatest country in the world when it comes to playing soccer, football, as they say incorrectly overseas. But that was magnificent to watch. I mean, we've been watching the Euros and talking about that. Now that your own team is in a massive tournament, incredible entertainment all weekend from sports. And like you said, middle of June, very unexpected, honestly.
Yeah, we got some magic. And obviously the United States is going to win the Copa America, and we're going to win the World Cup, and then we're going to be in the Euros next time, and we're going to win that as well because Captain America out of Hershey, Pennsylvania, Christian Pulisic is unstoppable, right? Yeah. The boys are buzzing, and obviously Bolivia had no shot, and I was told that Bolivian team, like number one team in the world.
Oh, yeah. Tough side.
Number one team in the world, the whole time
with Argentina.
That's a big time win for us. You know, people have always wondered when the United States are going to take that big leap. Well, we just did it last night.
We did.
Boom.
With a nasty goal 3 minutes into the game. 2 minutes and 23 seconds, actually, I do believe, to be exact. So we're talking very early in the game. And then in the 44th minute, we score again. 2-zip. We ride the wave. We continue to do it. Goalie's a stud.
Yes.
Goalie.
Matt Turner.
Matt Turner, yeah. Fairfield, Connecticut graduate.
He's a stag.
He's a stag. Yes, he is.
I did not expect him to be a stag.
Yes.
From what I've seen stags do, I did not expect them to stand on the head in soccer. So shout out to Turner, shout out to the soccer team, and shout out to the United States owning soccer. It's coming home.
It's coming home.
Amen.
Sorry about it, Gumpy. It's never going to Canada. It's never going back to England.
No.
You know where it's going? Home for the first time, the United States of America. That's one half of the hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys, Bubba Gumpino. Soccer's real right now.
Yeah, the boys are buzzing. Both games yesterday were awesome. USA game and then Uruguay, Panama was unbelievable as well. Very fast paced.
Hey, Uruguay.
That's a good group
That's
they're
good
in.
side.
It's awesome.
That's good.
What's his name? Nunez?
Nunez, Liverpool
yeah,
legend.
that guy can play some footy.
One, Cristiano Ronaldo, too. Don't look now, making people fall over at the age of 37 or 39 or whatever the hell it is. Absolute beast. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, Tone Diggs here. We're betting on baseball, too, right? Into a thing that's happening as well. Holy shit, look at sports right now.
Right now, I mean, it's actually kind of picking up. There was that little bit of a lull because it was just, NBA Finals, NHL Finals, and now it's like we got all these, I don't want to say odd sports or whatever, but sports that aren't normally in the forefront with the soccer, with the golf, with the baseball.
Oh, golf. Here we go.
Oh, my God,
Didn't even talk
Everything's
about golf.
right in the world. Scotty Scheffler's back on top. What?
That is 9-year NFL vet and normal big brain guy, Darius J. Butler.
I don't know why you keep doing this to yourself.
The G1 race happened this weekend in Spain, and for the 5th consecutive time for that particular race, and also every race that has ever happened in G1 since anybody learned of its existence, Max Vanderstappen won.
Exactly.
Nice.
Congrats, Max.
That's fun.
Anyways, back to golf. A man who wins a lot 6 times in 10 weeks, including a felonious arrest in the middle of this entire thing. Scotty Scheffler wins the Travelers in extra holes.
Yeah, Scotty.
I'm going to say extra holes, but it was only one where Scotty Scheffler proved that he was the number one golfer in the world. Tom Kim buries a massive putt on the 18th green after some protesters come out and say, stop using oil, okay? No golf until there's no oil being used. That's going to be a tough thing to happen, but I do appreciate you spray painting with flares on the green. And Tom Kim buries a massive putt moments after people are slaughtered on the green. Hey!
Good tackle.
Hey! I mean, just let me get my flare out, let me get my messaging out, and that cop said, we've been waiting for one of these wicked assholes to come through here, bang, on top of the green. But then you see the greenskeeper think, oh my God, it's going to get ruined. I mean, flares on here, we got people jumping and falling all over this thing. Remember, you're not even supposed to walk in people's lines. This is the 18th hole. The 2 leaders are currently on the green. I mean, this is a massive moment. Scotty Scheffler goes, boys, you don't want to get arrested. That's a real problem in there, okay? You want to get your little golfing routine in the cell like I did the morning of the tournament in Louisville whenever I was arrested for, what was he arrested for?
Vehicle manslaughter?
Yeah, a bunch of mumbo jumbo.
What
if I
was
remember
it?
correctly.
Oh, it was
Assault of an officer, I believe, was one of them.
Assault of a pair of pants.
Resisting arrest.
Yeah.
And I think didn't they say at one point he hawked 2 to it?
Yeah, he did.
All over
Right
the
on the
globe?
top forehead.
Not
Yeah,
a good
didn't
way.
they say that?
Yeah.
That's what we read that. Anyways, these protesters get arrested. The one of them on the way out kicks a pot of plants. I thought we liked the planet.
Yeah, I can't do that.
And they ruined the
Why are we kicking roses? We like the planet. We're fighting for a planet, I thought.
I thought so too.
What are we kicking
Are
the
they fake?
roses
And-
for?
Are they
the grass.
fake? Maybe he touched him on the way in. He said, "Oh, I'm going to get these plants."
Oh,
on
he
the
was
way
writing
out."
notes.
Yeah,
he was
bingo.
writing notes.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Need to get that.
That plastic's actually hurting the earth more than it's helping. Those aren't real roses. I'm going to kick the whole pot down. There's somebody trying to catch him. Can't get him. This guy went out on his sword. If his sword was being a massive hypocrite. But nonetheless, Scotty Scheffler ends up going to an extra hole with Tom Kim. And they're both sitting in the middle of the fairway, eyeing the green. And Scotty Scheffler said, I'm the number one golfer in the world. I'm going to put this thing to about 6 feet.
Yep.
Okay? This is extra holes. This is to win a tournament. Tom Kim, who was ranked 26th, I do believe.
Yes, coming into this, yeah.
He ends up going right into the sand moments afterwards. And there's the difference. If he hits that thing about a yard and a half further, it probably settles very nicely right next to the green or right next to the hole. Instead, Scotty Scheffler, for whatever reason, the golf gods have blessed him. His hard work has blessed him, and his skill has put him into a spot where he just absolutely is dialed in at all times. Congrats to Scotty Scheffler, winning over $27 million in purses this year already.
Why did he win again?
Because he's an absolute
That
beast.
too, but you see what's coming back.
Yeah, he's growing a beard back. Remember, he's been doing all this shit to prove to people that he doesn't need a beard or a different haircut
Guess
or
what he
anything.
does?
He's trying to break all the stitiousness, because he said, I don't want to be superstitious. I don't even want to be a little bit stitious. I want to be no stitiousness. He learned that in jail.
Yeah.
He's talking to guys in jail. They said they do a lot of superstitious stuff. It doesn't work out. But now that he's got the beard back, he's won 6 events in 10 weeks. I guess nobody has done this since Tiger, some of this stuff, but even Tiger wasn't able to accomplish a lot of the stuff that he's accomplished. He's going to end up being a guy who's going to make, they're saying $100 million potentially on the course, and all this stuff, and it's good for him. But the haters will say, in which there are many, he doesn't have to play against the best golfers in the world every week.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I don't think it matters. You see the way this guy golfs?
It doesn't matter.
Because Liv has taken so many big names and great golfers, there's a lot of people trying to kind of besmirch the legacy that Scotty Scheffler is currently building. That's not Scotty's fault. And what Scotty's doing, I think, beats anybody at golf any weekend.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is how I feel. I'm on the right. But those other people are going to have a real talking point for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Because you start thinking to yourself, Rombo Bombo, double cross one into the water, but he was in it.
Sure.
Like, you think he's going to. Brooks Koepka is back. You know,
Bryson.
I was watching Full Swing season 2. Koepka's wife, what's her name?
Jenna?
Jenna. She goes, there's a lot of people talking about how this is like a retirement tour and like you're a bad golfer, you go here. She goes, Brooks back. So let's see. Like she was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, it was a cool thing. So there is a lot of chatter about that, but Scotty Scheffler, historic. Congrats, Scotty. Golf's awesome.
God, hey, it is.
G1 is so terrible, but this weekend it was awesome,
Hey,
wasn't it?
great race. Lando could have won. Had the fastest car. Got pole. Max, George. It was a great race. Lewis got another podium in his what? Who knows what year?
18th.
18th
It's
year.
Sir Lewis
A lot of
Hamilton. You
podium.
can't spit at him.
198, so 2 away from 200, which would be insane. But it was a great race this weekend.
How about the Florida Panthers potentially about to be a part of history?
I
They're about
go.
to join the
Yeah.
Detroit Red Wings, maybe.
I tell you what, I'm shitting bricks right now. Pretty nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I probably will be. I feel like I got a game tonight. I probably will be nervous until number one, I see who's on the drum. We had Jack Nicklaus last time. A little long in the tooth.
Whoa, Golden Bear?
The great Golden Bear legend, but we need somebody a little younger with more juice on that drum tonight. But Bob, he was on the skates this morning, so I'm excited about tonight. Once that puck drops, got my cap right here. Sasha and the boys will figure it out.
It has happened in the history of the Stanley Cup. One time, 1945, a team goes up 3-0 in the series, ends up giving it up completely, ends up being 3-3, and then winning again. Remember, Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Detroit Red Wings.
Yeah.
Game 7 at home.
And then what
That's
happened
you
in the
want.
other one?
Well, the other one was the Detroit Red Wings were up 3-0. This was 1942. Okay, so they would be the Florida Panthers in this situation. They were up 3-0. Then the Toronto Maple Leafs win a game. Then they win another game.
Right.
Then they win 3 games.
Right.
All of a sudden, it's game 7, and they're like, there's no way the Toronto Maple Leafs can win 4 straight games in the Stanley Cup final. And then everybody's like, they're playing the Red Wings. Yes, they could. And they did.
Wow. Sure.
That was in 1942.
That's crazy.
So that's what the Edmonton Oilers are trying to duplicate 82 years later.
First time anyone's ever tried to duplicate the
What happens?
Well, no, they're trying to
Flip.
be the Maple Leafs.
Be the Maple Leafs, excuse me.
Now, the reason why today is so damn big in Indianapolis, Indiana, is because there are 3 fantastic men standing right over here.
Oh, right.
Okay, there's 3. One's a suit. Okay, obviously we've known him for a long time on the left. He does PR, handsome as hell. The one on the right is a damn good dog right there. Big Tim. Hey, what's that coming down the track, Tim? Bulldogs, baby, everywhere. And the man in the middle there is potentially one of the greatest minds in the history of entertainment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Current CCO for the WWE. The Game, Paul Triple H We're going to put smoke and shit. We didn't. That's on us.
Legend.
Mr. H. All right.
Good thing, Mr. H.
It's all about the game. I know you play it. All about control.
You gonna do it? Just aim that way. I was, I just, for future reference, a little intimidating walking across here. You don't know if you should cross the cornhole tournament or if you should go into the paint. You should cross the green.
Yep. A lot of options.
There's a lot of options.
So, Mr. H, cornhole board's brand new, actually, just got shipped here. So all this shit has just been shipped here, okay, from people we don't know.
Yeah.
So it's hard not, like cornhole boards, those are hand-painted, very good boards.
Nice.
So those just got put out, I believe, this weekend. The green got sent here, and it's been a fantastic addition. You can play a little pickleball, too, if you want to. We can put a net up for you. We have a pickleball court already set up here.
I was actually standing over there listening to you do the show and thinking NXT should come in here and put a ring up right there and run an event out of your studio, out of the Thunderdome.
Okay, let's make it official.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll get it done.
Maybe
I'll
even
talk
the
to Sean.
speed championship.
Boom.
There it is.
Okay, all right, so we got an NXT.
Binding contract.
Yeah, home of a future NXT event here at the Thunderdome. Okay, let's talk about Indianapolis, Indiana. Massive news breaks today. You guys at the WWE and Indianapolis Sports Corp have found a way to get all three main, I mean, the big ones, all three of them coming to Indianapolis, Indiana. We got the Royal Rumble, which is obviously a fan favorite every single year because the nostalgia that get shown and obviously all the incredible moments that have taken place. SummerSlam, party of the summer. Hey, how you doing? I'm going to SummerSlam. Life is great. Major moments in the history of WWE. And then WrestleMania, also coming to Indianapolis. And Monday Night Raw is here tonight. We appreciate the hell out of you guys for doing that for this city. How'd we get here, you think?
Well, I'll tell you how I got here is I got tired of you asking about it.
Yes.
Tired of wearing me out on it. Pat has been the biggest advocate for us coming here to Indy, and I feel like ever since you hijacked, Fastlane?
Yeah.
Ever since you hijacked Fastlane and put it in people's mind, you've been wearing me out on it. You've been wearing Nick out on it, and we just we got to a place where we were like, look, just give him everything and just shut that. But one thing you can do is talk, my friend.
Well,
and you got us there.
Yeah,
so
too much.
Kudos to you.
Yeah, well, we're a city that's like perfect for it, and I appreciate you guys listening. And obviously, every time you come to Indy, it's a massive show. I mean, the Shield, Seth Rollins turns here. The amount of things that have happened in Indianapolis, and the Indianapolis wrestling community is a huge one, but our city is ready to host. Like, we are excited to host. It's easy drive from so many cities. You're talking about Ohio, Michigan, Chicago, St. Louis. It's like we're ready for it. We're excited for it. And anytime WWE shows up, it's an awesome time in every city.
Yeah, it'll be massive. All those events will be massive. Plus, we're going to come here. We'll do our normal cadence of Raw and SmackDowns and live events here as well and in the surrounding cities. So it's a great partnership over the next few years. I'm really excited for it. And, the Sports Corp here, which is headed by a guy, Patrick Talty, who I've known for a long period of time. He's a great guy. He used to work for us at WWE. And just a wonderful guy that was really instrumental in us getting here as well.
The city loves hosting stuff, and that Indiana Sports Corp's a good group. They just negotiated the Olympic trials with USA Swimming to be here in the middle of Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yeah, swimming was just here, right?
Yeah, literally wrapped up yesterday. Michael Phelps got a big pop.
Oh, yeah.
That was his first time back. That was
Huge star.
Yeah, huge. That was his first time really back, though. I think there was a little... I don't want to speak out of pocket for anybody, but I think there was a little disagreement.
Little friction.
Yeah, like whenever somebody has an incredible run with something and then it kind of ends, it happens in the NFL. I assume it does happen in WWE. Sure. And now, so him going back, I think is a big deal. And then the pop was like it was.
When you're at the top and then you've got to step back and welcome somebody else at the top, it's always tricky.
Well, your
for
business,
both sides.
Yeah, your business is certainly one that has been in spotlight for that, but the business has gone on for so damn long. Let's talk about where the business is right now.
Yeah.
On fire.
On fire.
Absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, it's hard for us to say it in any other way. I feel like every week we're putting out a new you mentioned Chris over there putting out a new press release of some kind of
We've known him a long time. He was with the Zone when I was getting licensed.
Let me ask you a question. Do you like him now?
Chris, yeah.
I heard at first it was a little bit, he was a suit. And you're not big on those.
You look good in one, by the way. You don't operate as one, so that's good. But he did.
I just have to wear one. That's not my gig, right? But with him, he is a suit, and you know that. It didn't work out at first, but now you're in a good place, I've heard.
Yeah, he's good. He works hard, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
A lot of the suits that I've potentially encountered, seem to lack one particular trait that I think is vital, which is a work ethic. So I have issues with that. So, for him, he works his ass off. So I am a massive fan and earned his respect. But you're right, press releases are going big. I want to show a clip here before the boys have their questions from France, okay? And obviously, I'm a WWE fan, so I know the international crowds are awesome. The European crowds in soccer, they're known as the fan, the hooligans. For wrestling, though, I always knew, when you guys would take a show over there, we'd see clips on the internet. Crowd was insane. Insane. Here's a clip from
This is a couple months ago, Lyon, France.
What show?
Backlash?
Backlash. This is Backlash. Okay, in Lyon, France, the WWE's over there. Listen to this crowd basically shake the building until it almost collapses. That's Michael Cole, who will be here later, potentially, obviously. He also massive suit and stooge. Can't wait to talk to him. But is this one of the main reasons with what you've experienced with the European crowds and taking the show on the road, why that Netflix deal is such a big deal? Because I feel like that is a truly global platform, right? And
yes.
Is this what you're trying to kind of cherish almost and take care of through it all?
WWE is one of the only true global products, right? When you break things down, and there's other ones that are there, but when you break things down, it's becoming much bigger, obviously, but soccer is becoming big in the U.S., but it was massive everywhere else, right? Football in the U.S., they're trying to move it outside of the U.S. Other sports, they don't all resonate. WWE, we go everywhere. I mean, there's not a place in the world that I've not been over the years of my career, a country or a place on the planet that we've not been to where there's a massive fan base. Even sometimes we would go to places. I went to Russia years back where we didn't even have TV there, and we were completely sold out, and people were insane over it just based on bootlegging.
Old school.
Yeah, and so the international stuff for us is massive, and a platform like Netflix. So when we move over to Netflix in January, we will immediately, when they pull that trigger, be on live with Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and the PLEs, including WrestleMania, in 80% of the world outside of the U.S. immediately, which is right now we're just individual deals, so every place is slightly different. They'll all transfer over time until 100% of it is on Netflix internationally.
Damn.
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah. So it's a massive deal, and it's why Nick and I are so. Nick Khan, our president, who's amazing.
We second that.
Yes. We're so adamant about expanding and reaching outside of the U.S. for a lot of what we do. It's why you've seen us in the last since January of this year, right? We were in Perth, Australia. Then we did WrestleMania, 2 nights at WrestleMania, obviously. Then we went to Lyon, France. We went to Saudi Arabia. We come back to Scotland. We're going to Canada in a couple of weeks. We come back for SummerSlam in Cleveland. Then we go to Berlin, Germany. It's just outside of the U.S. Everything is so big, and the U.S. markets are going to have to step up their fan reactions here because the international markets are putting them to shame.
Well, Indianapolis will show.
You guys.
That's why I got the deal. Yeah, absolutely here in Indy. But I did hear from some of the people that were part of the France show and the Clash at the Castle in Scotland, and then you come back to an American operation or whatever, and it's okay, a little bit different reactions whenever things happen and trying to play it and create the greatest show. And I think the thing about the WWE and why it translates is because everybody can see what they like. There's entertainment obviously in there, there's comedy, there's action, there's mind-blowing in world class athleticism happening right in front of you. There's an environment, and then there's horror as well. So Chad Gable, good.
Yeah, he's good. You know, I don't know.
Real
Sure.
Really?
You see you see things on TV, and it escalated quickly from there's Chad Gable laying down. He's obviously unconscious, has
Been
a little
shot
bit of
in the
blood
head.
on him, to, oh my God, he got shot in the head and he's dead.
There's
And
chance we
that's
were
what I
part of the
still
problem.
think
And here's obituaries being put up on him, and
he's not
you
the
know,
only one.
people wishing him well. You know, like, look, it's one of the wonderful things about our fans is they just love to be engaged in the product and to, in their minds, fantasize where it can go and what it's going to be. And it's an awesome part of what we do. So every now and then we got to pull back into reality a little bit. Like, no, Chad Gable is still alive.
Okay.
Because we just clarify that for the record.
That's
He is
crazy. He was an Olympian.
Yeah.
Still alive, and if you come here tonight, you will probably see him actually competing.
Whoa.
Okay.
That's
Whoa.
the kind of stud he is. Yes.
Tonight?
Actually,
Tonight.
Whoa.
That's huge.
Wow.
Maybe he's back because he was a bit of an asshole there for a while.
Oh, yeah.
as he was
yeah.
at Alpha Academy. But I think it's all those things that encompass wrestling. That is why it's such a global phenomenon. I mean, you can't help but be a fan. Last question for me. You mentioned his name, Nick Khan. He obviously, we know him very well, and I am a big fan of his as well. He has a massive brain. He's also a wrestling fan, though. Right, like grew up a wrestling fan, and he also happens to be one of the greatest business people of all time. What a weapon that has been for the WWE, and I assume you feel that way as well.
Massive, yeah. Like, look, I've never really met a better businessman than Nick that is so intuitive to just what is going on. Like, it was funny, you know, for a few years before the TKO merger, where we would do earnings calls, and I felt like the investors wanted to know as much of Nick's opinion as of what was happening to outside sports as what was happening within WWE as he was talking, because his insight is so good. Plus, you know, it's funny that he, at one point in time, if you would look Nick up, he would be seen, it would be written like most powerful man in sports, right? He's doing all these massive deals. But in many ways, like, he's not a massive outside sports fan. He doesn't know that much about all these other sports. He does, but he's not like, you would think that he would be like so into it. What he's really into is combat sports like boxing and MMA, and what we do in pro wrestling and WWE. I mean, he is just a massive fan of that. Grew up, was an usher at WrestleMania at Caesar's Palace, was like, you know, he's just super into it. So when I first met him, having that insight from him on all these other business things that we were doing, and him giving me his opinion that always 99% of the time ended up being dead on, plus him being such a big fan, we just got along amazingly well. And, you know, then we were lucky enough to have him come into the company, and I'm lucky enough now I get to work with him every day and you know, get his insight on everything.
He's a genius.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't put that kind of stamp on a lot of people because I think a lot of people are really good at what they do, and that's where it stops. He's a genius.
Yeah, he's been fun to just send questions and fire questions at. Like, hey, I hate this guy. I don't like the way he's talking to me at all. What should I? And then I'll get a text from Nick like, tell me, all good, what's going on? You know, his all good thing.
All good.
All good. Any situation. Like Chaco, right?
Yeah.
I think his motto is good. Like, anytime something happens, no matter what it is, good. Like, now we move on. I think Texas A&M, the baseball team, actually has good across their hats right now. I think it's like kind of the, hey, no matter what, good, now what, good, now what, kind of like the messaging or whatever. It's like that's Nick Khan, seemingly, in like business. Like,
I only worry if Nick sends me a text and it doesn't say all good.
I've never got one of those.
If it
Nick
doesn't say
Khan.
all good, I'm like, oh, something's going on. Yeah.
We got to figure this one out. Connor has a question for you.
So, Mr. H, as you go globally with the WWE, do you have to think about like people who are viewing the product for the first time ever? Like, will you specifically do things at certain shows or try and market in a certain way based on knowing the fact that, hey, there's some people in this country that have never, seen any WWE products. Let's do this tonight. Or is that not even a thought and you just kind of have a longer term plan where you're heading towards?
So I think we have a longer term plan where we're headed towards, but there's always the one of the things that is so great about what we do is we run the gamut of across like everything, right, from across like every race, every nationality, everything. But then we run the family thing of like grandfathers and grandmothers are watching with their grandkids and their kids, and you know what I mean? And it goes down the line. So you sort of have to, I feel like you sort of have to look at it all the time of like, this might be this kid's first day watching this. And you don't want them to be there like, I have no idea who this is or why this is important. You always want to you don't want to insult the people that watch every day and overly tell them everything. Same point in time, you want to keep it for the people that don't know. Make sure that they have at least of a base understanding of it while they're watching it to get what's going to happen. And the other great thing about what we do right now is everything, no matter what it is at the touch of a button on the internet. So,
you guys have leaned into that, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with our social media following, with billions of people that we're the number one, I think we're like the number 7 channel on all of YouTube or somewhere in that range, which is not sports, like for all of YouTube, the following is massive. The amount of traffic we do is massive, but you can utilize that as a weapon because when people don't know something, if you just give them enough information, they can go look for it. They'll go find it, and it's right there in front of them.
So live in Dom's kiss. Legitimately, that USA ends show. Immediately afterwards, the arena knows. Arena sees everything that takes place. And for those that don't know, Liv is our champion.
Right.
Okay? And she's currently seemingly hot to trot for this scumbag named Dominic Mysterio, who has a mommy who's currently injured by Liv Morgan.
You guessed it.
So it's quite a conundrum for this dirtbag, Dominic.
And Dom, when you look at him, it's not like you look at Dom and go like, well, this is the guy that all the chicks are dating.
Incredibly ugly. Yeah.
Right. I mean, the hair is fantastic, but
he does have good hair.
It's a good flow, and obviously his moxie and his confidence is something that he shouldn't have. But he has no self-awareness. That's kind of the Dominic Mysterio thing. Rey Mysterio, we love. We love him.
Apparently, Dom's a machine, though.
Yes,
It has to be.
My respect for him has certainly started to. In moments, I'm like, all right, Dom, and I'm like, nah, I remember the guy sucks, and then I have to win. But anyways, that happens immediately. There he is. There he is.
That's good lettuce.
Look at that mustache, though. It embarrasses everything happening on top.
Gross.
Yeah, this guy stinks. Nonetheless, his kiss with Liv happens immediately after the show ends, but it's still in the arena. Then all the videos from the arena go, and it's like 100 million, 200 million views, and you guys like utilize social media as a part of your entire product, and it feels like WWE has always been ahead of the curve of everybody else. Legitimately feels that way. Do you think it's because everybody in your business has like a content mind? Do you think it's because it's not as big as people might think? There's only, I don't want to say only a few people, but there is a smaller amount of people that are kind of directing traffic in that. Why do you think you guys lean into shit before everybody else?
I think our fan base is just so ravenous for it. Like, there's really nothing else that episodically airs. If you want to look at us, like I say this a lot, we're not a sport, we're a movie about a sport or a TV show about a sport, right? So the interest of all the other things happening are just as great as what happens in the ring. But people are so interested in not only those storylines, but then who are the real people behind those storylines? And just the drama of all of it. So if you're younger or if you want to buy into it that much, the drama of the storylines, if you're in a different mindset, the drama of what's happening behind the scenes. Is that guy leaving? Is he signing his contract? Is he going to stay? I heard he's got problems with management. They're trying to restrict his style. Whatever
they're burying him.
Yeah, he got shot in the head. Whatever your mindset is to where you want to go with this, you can go there and follow up with it on a regular basis. And the content, it's easy to watch, it's easy to understand, right? So you can sit on a bus or a train or in your car or whatever and just watch clips, and they do massively well, right?
Yes, you guys crush on the internet, obviously. D-Butt has a question for you, Mr. H.
Yeah, we had the final boss on the show. A lot of people don't know this, but obviously athletes, regardless of how long you've been in the game, how long you played, you still kind of get those butterflies or nerves before a match. Obviously, we grew up watching in the Attitude Era. What are those nerves like now, being the CCO behind the scenes? Are they similar to when you were a superstar in the ring, or kind of different, or how does that play out?
So I say this a lot to explain it. It's like having your career and what that means to you, the nerves of being a player, the moment before you walk on the court or the field or in the ring or whatever that is, those nerves that because you're so passionate about what you do, but then being a parent and standing there and watching your kid go do it. the nerves that you have for them, the passion that you have for them to go do it right. The internet will joke a lot about my NXT or the WWE kids or whatever it is. It kind of is like that because you're invested so much in all these talent, men and women who are trying to do what you did, live their dream and have these moments, and you try to write all this stuff, and then they bring their spin to it and put their stamp on it, and you want it to be so good for them that it's just I think the butterflies are almost worse for me now watching, and then especially when they're doing dangerous stuff, which a lot of this they're professionals and they're highly trained to do it, but there's very little space between something being part of the show and something being overly real here.
Almost falling off the top ropes. Yeah,
sure. And you sit there and you hold. When the announcer gets up on the chair with wheels on it and spins in a circle.
This is SummerSlam in Nashville. This is SummerSlam in Nashville, and that's little Nate, Charles Robinson right there. And that is me go, oh my God, I'm about to fall right on little Nate right here. And then I just stumble off onto Baron Corbin. And then that has been in my mind forever. So anytime somebody's like, you getting back in the ring? I'm like, there was a moment where I thought I was dying. And the only person I could see was little Nate. And he's like, what do you need from me?
Good luck.
But that could happen at any moment. That could literally happen at any moment whenever we're watching anything that's taken over.
Can happen at any moment. We were just in Scotland. Damian Priest goes to do a dive over the top rope, just slips, like probably quarter-inch, half-inch, foot slips off the rope. His ankle gets caught up in the top rope, and in one move, he is hanging upside down by one leg. Looked like he killed himself. Looked like his leg just snapped. Looked like everything tore, the joint snapped, and all this stuff. Here it is.
There it is.
And we have communication with the referees and everything like that, and now they're trying to figure out how to get him out of there. And
Drew McIntyre's like, we're in Glasgow, so
I'm just going to kick him till he falls out. Yeah, but when you see that, that's live, right? I'm like, oh my God, show's over. We're going to have to get him out of there, stretcher him out, and my wheels are immediately spinning about where we go with this. And we ask, is he okay? And then a few seconds later, he says he's fine. And I'm like, there's no way he is fine. And we ask again. He says he's fine. And he gets up and I can see him and he's like, he's adamant that he is totally fine. I'm like, okay, so we're going to watch. I'm thinking maybe adrenaline here, but he turned out he was totally fine. But that stuff happens all the time. So when you talk about nerves, it's the nerves of how well this will go. It's the nerves of the moment in time. It's the nerves of the big event. It's also the nerves of, I want these kids to all come out of here safe and in one piece when it's over. And their safety comes, first and foremost in everything we do. So there's nerves all the way around. Might be worse for me now. When I was, 25, 30 years old and I was going to the ring, I just didn't care. I just wanted to put on a good show and I didn't care what happened to me or anything else.
Everything hurts.
Everything.
That's something that doesn't get talked about enough. Those ropes hurt. Like, I want to run ropes. That'll be fun. I got drunk and bought a ring whenever I was a rookie in the NFL. I found out you could buy wrestling rings on the internet.
It's just a shocking story. Right? I would have never seen that.
I was getting ready to come, I was getting ready to come hit you. I was going to do it all. So I bought one like 2, 3 a.m. or whatever in the summer. Thing shows up on an 18-wheeler. A few months later, I'd forgotten that I had ordered it, obviously, put it into the barn, put the whole thing together. It took me like 8 hours with a couple friends to figure out how the hell to put that thing together that everybody's doing every single day. And I'm like, this will be fun. We worked our asses off to get in here. I run the ropes like the first time. I'm like, that hurts so bad. So when am I ever going to do that? Never. So then I'm like, let me go ahead and drop an elbow here in the middle of the ring. We'll do people's elbow. We'll do the whole thing. Boom, bang. I hit the ground. Every bone in my body cracked and it hurt so bad. And I'm like, okay, so I'm never going to do this again unless I'm signing up to get injured. So literally everything that happens in there hurts. And I think that's why the more you learn about the business, the more you appreciate it. That's why your fans, I think, continue to get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper because there's like so much respect that needs to be shown to everybody that's in there. And it's insanity. It is absolute insanity to go in there and do it.
It's also why, because you still get people every now and then that don't watch and don't understand it that will come up to you if you're a performer in this business and say, isn't that fake, right? It's fake, isn't it? You know what I mean? Isn't that fake? And it's like, yeah, no, the word fake bothers them so much because of what they go through on a day-to-day basis.
Yes.
it's like getting hit by a bus every day, and that ain't fake. And all the stuff that you go through is not fake. Is it a storyline? Is it predetermined?
Whoa. No.
Yeah.
No.
Answer no.
You're right. The answer's no. Thanks. You're asking questions. We're answering them.
And but that word for people angers them so much because of what they go through, and how much they'll have given of themselves and their bodies when they're done their careers.
Yeah,
but happily for people's entertainment,
Yeah, and the crowd's reactions.
Yeah.
Like, you watch all these documentaries about wrestlers and movies that are made about wrestlers. It's like that crowd reaction is literally. That is the thing.
Yeah.
That is the entire thing.
It is hard to put down, and unlike any sport where, if you're a player in the NFL, even if you're a boxer, an MMA, a fighter, whatever that is, your job sort of is to shut out all that outside noise, focus on your task, and go do it. In our business, the task is make them make noise. So you're keenly aware of every single reaction that they have, and that's the addictive piece of it. It's like a drug. That adrenaline that you get from that crowd, that electricity, that reaction is like nothing else. And it's why you see performers sometimes way past when they should be doing it, still doing it.
Yeah. Chase the dragon.
Yeah.
It happens in, I think, every sport. But in wrestling, it feels like it is the preeminent thing about dealing with post. Ty has a question for you, Mr. H.
Yeah, Mr. H, when it comes to Netflix, and obviously this is a ways away and you have shows damn near every single night, so you have a lot on your plate already, but have you thought at all about how you might kind of tweak some things and change it for the Netflix area with it not being on traditional linear TV? Or is it one of those things where it's like hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it. We don't want to go to Netflix and then have people be like, well, this is a completely different product. Why is it look different? Like, have you thought about what small changes or what you'd maybe like to try on Netflix that you're not necessarily afforded being on TV?
Absolutely. Hey, we spend large chunks of our time every day. When we're not thinking about business at hand now, we're thinking about those moments. So in the fall, as the shows shift around, and then once we get to Netflix is a completely different animal. It's a streaming service. How are commercials going to work? How are breaks going to work? What's the length of time? What are the restrictions? What are not restrictions? Like right now, just as an example of us being on Fox, and if the crowd chants "Holy shit" or something much worse, they just take that audio. Sometimes they take the picture and the audio off, and it's just black screen.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about The Rock.
Yeah, the Rock.
There was a big message being delivered, and you guys just want the complete nothing. Remember, that was your decision.
Yeah. Look, The Rock comes in and you sort of kind of can't tell The Rock what to do, right? Like, what are we going to tell him? So he does what he does, but we won't have those issues. Netflix, right? The ability to be live globally, the ability to have everything seen all at once everywhere. It's a game-changing moment, and I think in many ways, not to disparage other partners because we want to be everywhere, but that's sort of where the world is heading, right? Is streaming services. You see the NFL sticking their toe in the water. NBA is, every sport is, right? Yes. And I think it's why this Netflix deal was so game-changing, and I think everybody's going to be watching us in January, especially those other sports. From a business side, they're going to be watching to see what we do differently and how that's received.
Everybody from live content is very thankful you guys did a deal with Netflix.
Yeah.
For a weekly live show. Just want to let you know that.
I think it's going to revolutionize that for everybody else. And opens that
Fingers
door
crossed.
massively. So, yeah, look.
Crush it. Come on.
Yeah, you're 100%. As soon as I saw you guys sign for how many bucks?
Okay.
It had to be at the beginning is all you really need to know.
That's for live entertainment. So that's wrestling with a Netflix deal. Does the NFL have a Netflix?
Oh, they do.
They do. How much is that one? Oh, wow. Wait a minute. Don't be a selfish prick here, Pat. Send the congratulations where they are. Send the congratulations.
Send the congratulations before you ask for a contact number.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, but it's awesome. You guys have always done that, though. Literally started the WWE Network before anybody else started their own, and everybody tried to do it. And then now you guys have figured out how to make that a profitable, both international and domestic with the Peacock. I mean, it's just like...
It's been the secret of WWE since the beginning, sort of, when there were all the territories, WWE saw cable television coming. And they went national first, right? Then it was closed circuit TV, where WrestleMania 1 was seen closed circuit TV. You had to go to a gym or a theater or whatever it was to watch it with everybody else. Then we sort of pioneered pay-per-view. We kept that alive for a lot of years before, then boxing came in and everything else. We switched to our own streaming service, which people said we were ridiculous to do at the time. They questioned the sanity of doing it because nobody was there. It was Netflix pretty much and us. And then everybody started going there. That was then seen as a genius move. Then as that bundling started happening, we pulled out of that and went into, the deal with Peacock, which was seen as, wow, genius. We're not a tech company. We can't keep up with all the other, tech advantages that are happening and all this bundling. So we pull out, we go to Peacock, and then we go to the biggest streaming service there is. So you got to stay ahead of things. You want to be where you're at in the moment, but you also want to see what's coming around the bend and do the best you can. You don't want to be the first in, but you certainly don't want to be the last.
Isn't it what? Amen. You also don't want to be the last one out of any event. That is certainly, unless you're working it. But the thought of WWE always being like that, and then adding Nick Khan as the president to you guys got to figure it out.
Dream team.
The last question here from our cowboy tone dude.
Yeah, Mr. H, we were actually talking last week, after watching a Raw, we were like, that Raw was amazing, or a PLE, that was an amazing PLE, Clash at the Castle, but we were just like, there's something missing, and it's our tribal chief.
Yep.
Do we know where our tribal chief is? Do we know when we can expect a return from our tribal chief, because we need him?
Yeah, so I would just say this, and when you talk about tribal chief, you're talking about Roman Reigns, no matter who lays claim to that now.
Yep. Solo says he's the head of the table.
But everybody knows.
You see the bloodline carrying on. You see Solo putting himself out there as a tribal chief. You see Tamatonga coming in. You see Tongaloa coming in.
Jacob Fatu.
You see those guys start to run wild, and then the game changer happens of Jacob Fatu coming in this week, the Samoan werewolf.
Hey, what a weapon,
dude!
Jeez,
he's a game changer. You very clearly see that shift of we're running the show now, and it's our this is the new tribal chief, this is the new head of the table, and this is where this is headed. That's only going to last for so long before there's a return. I can only imagine. And let's hope that Heyman's nerves can take it until he comes back, because Heyman looks like he's on his very last nerve on this thing. But it's an exciting time because that is ramping up incredibly big. Now they're starting to go directly after Cody Rhodes and the WWE title, so you can feel it ramping up. You can feel Raw ramping up. Seth Rollins' return. The Wyatt Six coming in.
Well,
yeah, if everybody makes it through them, you can really feel both shows ramping up as we come into summertime and we head into SummerSlam, where those stories will all blow up. And he mentioned Liv and Dom earlier. I would imagine at some point this is not going to sit well with Rhea.
Yeah.
So when you look at where we're at right now and how much excitement there is, and you still start thinking about, we don't have Roman, we don't have Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch is out on a hiatus right now.
Final boss.
The amount of people. Yeah, The Rock.
he's currently a UFC fighter.
He is.
Yeah. So the amount of people that you have still to come, the amount of storyline that you still have to roll out, and then it makes me beg the question of, all right, so down the line, whatever resolves around the bloodline, whatever resolves around the Wyatts, man, that's, if those two come together, that's intriguing as hell, isn't it?
Whoa.
So, it's as I said earlier, it's thinking short term, it's thinking today, it's thinking midterm, and then it's thinking long term, and just constantly planning for the future. But as Pat said eloquently earlier, the future is very bright right now.
Yep, I would say.
We got the hottest announcer on the planet on
Not everybody feels that way.
Monday night.
I'm sure you've heard that a few times. I'm very lucky to be there.
I do. And lucky Michael Cole is here today.
Oh.
I don't know, sure if you know, but today's his birthday.
Is it?
Today is his birthday.
You would know. You're his boss.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Every week you tell us it's his birthday, so it might as well be again today.
Well, I'm going to guess, because there are a lot of people are, after it happens on Monday Night Raw or whatever, people were like, that's not his birthday, and they look on.
You guys all right?
The hell?
See, that's I think Foxy's been doing. Foxy's been putting that up. Foxy's been putting that up all
Frozen. Come on.
We're frozen back here. Nope. Okay, we're back.
Oh, okay, Foxy.
Evan.
Foxy's
I've been telling you, Pat, I have been telling you this whole switcher has been going frozen every time that's happened so far.
Okay, Foxy. Foxy's married now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's got this entire
Different
thing.
guy.
Yeah, Foxy.
You guys aren't going to buy into it until a camera rolls through there and he's in the corner shot in the head.
Well, listen.
We can only hope.
That's what everybody on the internet's saying. They're saying, "Oh, that's the wide six."
So he was shot in the head.
Foxy.
Yeah,
you're talking
Foxy.
about. You're talking about that being Foxy.
No, now I'm going to get shot in the head because you, Pat, because now everyone's blaming me for this.
Well, you keep running the stupid video.
I'm not. No, I'm telling you, this whole thing went
not
frozen,
Foxy.
but in
I
the
don't
past,
think so.
we just were out and it came back this time.
Okay, all right, Fox. Thanks.
Sure.
Anyways,
I'll just go on the like having met most of your staff. It's not out of the question that it's a mistake.
You're right.
bingo.
Exactly.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying this
Get
whole
it together
time.
back
Though
there.
it does seem very coincidental.
Okay. See, now you're doing this whole game.
we don't need
Time
that.
to play the game. That's what you just did right there.
Long-term planning. I hope you guys are still here next week.
Oh, Jesus.
Just saying.
Good Lord. Well, I mean, they can just clone us like they did Chad Gable. Either way,
Yeah.
Heard that's happening.
bring us back.
Anyways, Foxy, we get it. It's fun. You did your thing. You won. A couple times. Put the internet in a tailspin. Everybody's going to say, I'm dead again. I saw myself dead a few times.
It's not fun.
It's not real. Anyways, I can't thank you enough for stopping by. Indianapolis is very thankful for the big three coming through.
Indianapolis should be thanking Pat McAfee. Like when Pat walks out tonight, everybody should stand up and worship him.
No, no intro.
The reason we're here, the reason we're doing these shows, the reason we're all of it, Pat McAfee has got us there.
Yeah, let's move on. And I think no intro tonight. Just have me show up at the
Thank you,
commentary
Pat.
table. That'd be good, and we'll just continue to roll. But literally, I tell you this after every single show. Thanks for having me, man. I am so lucky to be a part of your world. I love the way your brain is operating right now. Because the way I do my particular gig is a little bit different than how I think every person that has held that gig in the past has done it, where, there's a lot of prep and understanding and everything like that. So,
Your prep is showing up.
Yeah, bingo,
I've
yeah.
noticed.
So me trying to get in your brain sometimes has been a lot of fun, dude. And you're an impressive dude. I want to let you know that.
appreciate that.
We're very lucky to watch you work. You're the man. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chief Content Officer for the multi-billion-dollar global entertainment company, the WWE, Paul Triple H with that.
Appreciate it.
Hell yeah. Hey, can you move Java so we can get a photo right here real quick?
Time to play the game.
Come on, boy. Come on, boy.
It's all about the game and how you play it. All about control. And if you can take it, all about you. And if you can play it, it's all about hey, who's gonna make it. I am the game. You don't.
Hell yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, taking Mr. H's seat is a future Hall of Famer, you got to get your ears. Yeah, we'll get you next hour. All right, that was awesome. Big Tim, who's Triple H's guy. Mm-hmm. He's Georgia Bulldog down there.
Yeah.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
He's giving this hat, and there's going to be a lady down in Georgia, Athens, who's going to say, you don't deserve to wear a hat with a G on it, but I will put it right here in honor of my guy, Tim. He's the man. He's been everywhere that Triple H has been since we've got to the WWE. Always got shit kickers on. Always got jeans on.
Love that.
Always working his ass off. I appreciate the hell out of them. Big thanks to Triple H for stopping by the entire time. And Foxy, I hope you feel good. Chief Content Officer got to watch you do your little thing.
Yeah, now he thinks I stink at my job because I'm getting hacked over here, okay?
Oh, okay.
That whole thing's frozen. This has happened before in our old studio. Whole thing goes frozen, so nothing new, and usually restart the system. This one's different.
Halloween episode.
Yes.
Exactly.
One camera only. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that is potentially why Mr. H was like, after knowing you guys' operation, there's a chance you could really fuck this one up, right? Because Triple H knows the program.
Oh, yeah.
He knows the program a long time. I mean, he's been there since the very beginning because I started with WWE like 6 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of wrestling fans forget about that whenever they start attacking me for whatever reason. It's like, yo, I've tried. I had a
Been
career.
around.
I'm sorry, I had another career I had to finish and get done with. And as soon as I could start with the WWE, I did. And the person who brought me in is a 27-year vet, greatest of all time, the voice of the WWE. Not dressed like an asshole today, instead looking like a full journalism school suit, Michael Cole.
Great to see you, bro.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Honor.
What the hell is this?
Really good to see you.
Legend.
Good to see you. Whose music is this?
That's his.
Oh.
That's your music?
Yes, my music.
Oh, nice.
He gets introed every week.
I've had that theme music for a very long time.
Could tell.
Never heard that before in my life.
He gets introed every single week.
Yeah.
People, there's big pops from Michael Cole.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Every once in a while, he'll go out there and they're still trying to fix the ring and everything, get it ready for the show. So there'll be full chaos happening. And Michael Cole just walks, beeline, waves, right straight to the commentary desk and sits it right down. The people go crazy. Great to see you, Michael Cole. We appreciate the hell out of you.
Hey, Foxy, I appreciate you. No matter what anybody says, I believe that your stuff got hacked, and you kicked out of it wonderfully.
Thank you, Michael Cole. Thank you so much.
Jeez.
He did kick out, I guess. All right, I guess he did kick out. You don't think that's just Foxy messing around right there?
No, not at all. No. Hey, by the way, I wore shoes today.
Thank you for doing that. And that's strictly because you're too lazy to bring another change of clothes.
That's
because you got to go to the
exactly.
arena tonight. And you already, this is exactly what he's going to be wearing tonight.
You will see this tonight on the USA Network.
Good suit.
Already. Guy has this thing in at 10 a.m. He is in Monday Night Raw suit ready to go because he doesn't want to carry anything else. We're wrapping up this first hour. Triple H did a great job. But you know who's been one mainstay on air throughout all of these different, the closed circuit, the Attitude Era,
Right.
the Ruthless Aggression era with John Cena, through this Triple H, Michael Cole, the voice of the WWE. What an honor it is to have you.
Well, thank you. What an honor it is to work with you every Monday night.
Okay, all right. Let's move along here. Baseball doesn't suck right now. We've been talking baseball. I heard you guys have a cheater on your team. New York Mets closer, Michael Cole, who's a diehard New York Mets fan. New York Mets closer came out with actual super glue on his hand, just absolutely on his hand, facing a 10-game suspension. How do you feel about it, Cole? You're a fan of cheaters.
Well, first off, he did nothing different than he's done his entire career. Rosin and sweat. Bottom line. Now, here's my issue with this. If he cheated, he cheated. You throw him out, you give him his 10-game suspension. However, he has no history of cheating. He had not thrown a pitch in this ball game. They should have allowed him to go back to the locker room, wash his hands, and come back and pitch.
Oh, okay. So this guy's coming out with
that's a
spider
precedent that
tech.
has been set before, and they should have allowed him to do that. You know, six pitchers have been suspended for illegal substance use. 3 of those pitchers have pitched for the Mets.
Okay.
Okay.
Exactly my point
That
from the
makes
beginning, or maybe they're out to get him. You know who isn't being questioned at all for anything?
Who's that?
Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens in his last pitch this past weekend, 102 strikeout, 7th inning. How you doing? Keep it moving. First pitch, dinger.
Yeah.
How will he respond? The young buck. Oh, he just threw harder, faster, better. Struck out the side. How
He's
you doing?
amazing. It's must-see appointment viewing if you're a baseball fan. It reminds me of 6 years ago when Jacob deGrom was dominating in New York. You had to turn on the TV set every 5 nights to watch this guy pitch. Skeens is one of those guys. He's absolutely incredible. Here's my problem, though, with baseball today, and we're talking about
We got 5 seconds, so.
before we went on the air. There will never be another 300-game winner in professional baseball.
We'll see you next hour. Joining us is a demon. Ladies and gentlemen, O's the Mentalist will be joining us.
All right, O's.
Let's go. What's the pick? I'm not giving away for free. Bill, what time is it right now?
7:57.
Write it as big as you can.
Wow.
It's about to get
This guy.
weird. From this point on, I never touch this bad boy. We're going to revisit later in the draft.
All right, O's, get in here, you sick son
Get
of a
weird.
bitch.
Almost 2 hours.
Hold it. Oh, don't drop it.
Oh, no,
After
no,
all
I
that,
dropped it,
boss.
I dropped it.
Okay, AJ, take the cards, look through them, and here's the thing. I want this to be random. Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, what's up?
My hands are a bit frozen, but yeah.
I want you to take, but hold on. I don't want you to look for your favorite.
Bill's
I want
booking
you
Sean Payton right now.
to
There we go.
lift
Head boy
up.
Bill.
AJ, slow. Lift. No.
Let one of your guys.
Take off a piece.
Oh,
It could
you
be a
fucked
lot or
my
a little.
shirt. Oh, right here.
And don't look at it. Lift it up.
I'm not.
Put it against your body. That feel right?
Yeah, feels
AJ,
great.
if you don't feel like this was the right moment for you, you want to change, put it back.
All right,
once
I'm
around.
putting it back.
It's up to you. All right, lift off wherever you want,
We're back.
more or less. A piece.
No, that's not okay. Now I'm
you
good.
want.
3
Is that good?
times. Good.
Okay.
This is a good one.
Are you sure?
Yeah, of course.
Stay right there, locked and loaded.
Oh, you fucked up my shirt,
That's
front.
not- And there is a white piece of of paper.
Yep.
Is that right? That's all that's in there. Take that out. I want you to see this. Look, AJ, open it up.
No fucking way.
No
And
way.
show us and show AJ what you got. What is that? Show us. 9 turn around and show us where you're at.
You ready?
Yep, turn it around.
No way.
Shut up! This guy! 757, that's important.
That's been in there since 7:57. Imagine that you somehow know the game of the year next season. Tell us, what are the two teams that you're seeing in this game? Say it.
Packers and 49ers.
Who do you think's going to win that game?
Packers 34, Niners 27.
Tell me on your life. Did I tell you to say anything? Did I
You
say
did it, and I swear to God, if you get this right, I'm gonna rip your fucking head off.
Tell him the game of the year.
Oh my
Read
God.
Read it to him, please.
Come on, bro.
Read it to him. Packers beat the 49ers 34-27. Remember this screen grab when it happens this season. Open up what's been in there since 7:57.
Come on, dude. There's something wrong with you.
Open it up. It says Brock Bowers, 13th
How?
pick Raiders.
Fuck this guy.
Oh, fucking way!
There's no way! This guy's a witch. Bears, Caleb Williams.
100% we knew it.
Commanders, Jaden Daniels.
No, don't you
Patriots, Drake May. Cardinals, Marvin Harrison Jr. Chargers, Joe Walt. Giants, Malik Neighbors. Titans, J.C. Latham. Michael Penix Jr. Roma Dunze. Vikings from
Traded
Jets.
with the Jets.
What? J.J. McCarthy. Jets from Vikings. Olu Fashanu. Broncos. Bo. Knicks, and then the 13th pick.
Oh my God!
Bowers to the Raiders.
I'm so happy I'm not.
Beautiful.
Taped on his chest since 7:57. Right now it is 9:50. You're a demon. O's.
That's fucking unbelievable.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey. What? Let's go. This show sticks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Sport! Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, the future home of an NXT event on this massive Monday, June 24, 2024. Our tour of the program starts now. Sports! Our awesome sports are fantastic, and today we have a Game 3 and a best-of-3 series to decide the College World Series baseball champion. We also have Game 7 in the NHL Stanley Cup Final to decide who will be hoisting Lordo for the next year. Will it be the Florida Panthers, who once had a 3-0 lead in this series, or will it be Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers, who have stormed back and taken this thing all the way to 7? Either way, history will be made. It hasn't been since 1942 where a team has come back after being down 3-0 and winning the Stanley Cup. And it hasn't been since 1945 that a team who's been up 3-0 has given up the lead to a Game 7 and then ended up coming back and winning inevitably. The Florida Panthers could be the Toronto Maple Leafs in 1945, or the Edmonton Oilers could be the Toronto Maple Leafs in 1942. History is on the line tonight as Monday Night Raw is live in Indianapolis, Indiana. Always a massive show when things are taking place in this lovely city that'll house the Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, and WrestleMania here over the next few years. And that man right next to me on that graphic has a photo from 40 years ago.
How old was I?
27 years he's been the voice of the WWE. Ladies and gentlemen, friend of the program, Michael Cole.
You know, I was really conflicted about whether to come in here today. I saw a lot of stuff on social media warning me to stay clear of you after what's been happening on this program over the last few days involving this group that has, I guess, been called the Wyatt Six, S-I-C-K, S.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Just shut up, Cole. We talked about this in the first hour.
This is asinine.
This is Foxy running stuff. And last week when we lost power, obviously, we showed it. It was clear as day.
What did you lie about? The we lied that popped up as you went off the air.
We lied.
That's Foxy dicking around.
You lied.
Yeah. You lied.
You lied.
Yeah.
No, that's Foxy talking to himself when he puts that thing up there. He's like, I lied.
So you're not nervous at all heading into the show tonight, live on the USA Network with these sickos running around after what they did last week?
Listen,
Shot a guy in the head.
In Indy?
Have you ever?
That did not happen.
Hey,
but-
this is actual.
What are you talking about?
This is actual question.
Yes.
Okay, and we can ask people that have been around me a long time. Have you ever seen me nervous to walk into any situation?
No, but
Okay,
this is
thank you so much. That's all I need to hear.
This
That
is
is all I
any
need to hear.
situation.
No, you're only nervous if you appear to be nervous.
All right.
Okay, that is the only way anybody tells. You got to walk in there, chest back.
This guy's been ghost hunting.
Carrying surfboard.
I actually might come bopping in more than I've ever been, because I know that this is all just something happening in that back room back there.
Yeah, something's happening back here.
You may soil yourself tonight on national television.
Okay, Michael Cole. Jeez
You might in a gray
Louise.
suit.
That isn't something that I do. That is something that happens over at the talk.
You're right.
Table.
Why do you think
At
of-
Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt, known dumper on television.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't done it in a long
You
time.
might
but-
want to not wear that color.
Okay, Cole.
air.
I mean, when you got people coming in and shooting people in the head and killing them on live TV.
So that did not happen. Everyone is
We saw it,
reading
Cole.
into that entire
I don't know.
thing.
Cole.
Triple
Chad
H said
Gable
the
is
first-
actually
he
in a match tonight, so he's back.
Yeah.
The dead guy?
Yes.
Okay.
Someone with his name, maybe.
Yeah, one half of the hammer. Dahn. Cowboys Tone Diggs is here. 9-year NFL vet. Darius J. Butler is here. And boys, we got some big news coming out of the sporting world. Not that Foxy and the boys in the back are having their fun with this entire thing.
Come on, boys.
Okay, having a laugh, which is that's very journalistic of you. Guy graduated from Syracuse with a journalism degree and has been in war zones and in the middle of rivers on fire, and the first one to talk to David Koresh and all that stuff. And I think whatever it is. Okay, you've won all that. That is very journalism of you to point out something that is obviously not the case. And that is certainly your job as a journalist
Yep,
to do.
that's my job, though.
Well, let me tell you, my job is journalism. Guy. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some breaking news. Scotty Barnes, a basketball player for the Toronto Raptors, has signed a 5-year, $270 million extension to remain with the Toronto Raptors. Remember, the NBA has a bunch of rules in place where if you stay with the team that you started with and that you're on, you're up for more money than before. Tatum's up for like $315 million because of the All-NBA tags and how long he's been there. There's a lot of different circumstances that up the amount of money you can get paid from the team in which you're on, because they didn't want the Hedo situation to just become a boom, 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 boom. Scotty Barnes, Florida State, averaged 20 points, 8
Rebounds.
6
assists
last year, is now with the Toronto Raptors for another 5 years at $270 million.
The highest paid player in Toronto Raptors history.
Yeah, T-Mac used to do some
That's
sweet
incredible.
shit up there.
Vince Carter.
Kawhi.
Oh, yeah. There was incredible times up there for the Toronto Raptors. They just won
2019.
2019, and now Scotty Barnes is going to take them back there.
And they stunk this year.
Yeah, they were horrible. They had guys betting against themselves on that team this year.
Yeah,
so.
trying to miss threes.
Yeah, that's right. Taking themselves out.
Yeah.
Subbing themselves
Eye
out.
injury.
Do you remember this? Do you know this, what happened here? Guy was actually betting against himself on that team.
Yeah.
They got him out. Scotty Barnes is in. Everybody loves Scotty Barnes. I checked the internet. Literally, everybody loves Scotty Barnes, D-Butch. I think this is a good signing for the Toronto Raptors.
Good player, Florida boy, still young. You know, this is the price of doing business in the NBA. You average 28-6. You're going to get max. You're going to be the highest paid player, most likely in that franchise history. Saw what happened with Jaylen Brown. Obviously a great player, but 300. Tatum past that. So great for Scotty, obviously, and great for, obviously, these young. I think Cade, even coming off one of the worst, probably the worst season in NBA history.
Yep.
He's about to get maxed out, too. So it's good to be, 6'10" and athletic.
Yeah, I would say. I wish I could do that. That would be very cool, especially with where these NBA contracts are headed. 275 is what Trevor Lawrence got paid.
Yes.
And everybody lost their mind.
Right.
Scotty Barnes just got $270 million. We like Scotty Barnes.
Yeah, it's
fully guaranteed.
This is fully guaranteed. This is a lot different than any. These NBA guys sign these deals though that are just absolutely absurd. Heard of Scotty Barnes before, so this is a different story. But there'll be somebody that'll come out this offseason in the NBA, and I think end of June is a big time because a lot of guys either opt in or opt out of their contracts, and then shit goes wild, brother. I mean, that's kind of how it goes. If players are staying with their own teams, they can negotiate right now, so we'll hear more of those numbers. But some of these paychecks that some of these NBA guys that I've never fucking heard of in my life. I don't know how many tickets they sell. I don't know how much merch they move. I don't know how many beers people are buying. I don't know how many points they're putting. But some, not Scotty Barnes, some of these guys averaging like 4 points, 10 rebounds, or 9 rebounds, and like 2 assists. $500 million guaranteed. That's the NBA. Good for them over there.
Yeah, I mean, you got guys who are making like top end wide receiver money. Like, I mean, Derek White, again, I wouldn't say he's like a massive superstar, obviously, but he's very good. He fulfills his role. They're talking about him making $30-some million with his a year with his next contract. Like, it's the expectation. It kind of begs the question. Like, if you're an elite athlete and you have the ability to play one or the other, like, why would any of these guys play anything other than basketball?
Because a lot of these stories come out that it's not like choosing football or basketball. It's like football kind of told them. You know, hey, you're going to go play basketball.
Sure, yeah, you're a basketball guy.
There's been so many stories. Austin Rivers was the first one. And then I heard Memphis guy, former Memphis Grizzly.
Dylan Brooks?
No.
I know Charles Barkley. He had a similar story with football.
Who's the bigger guy? Lefty.
Oh, Zach Randolph?
Zebo?
I think he told a story about how football, something happened, and he was like, I'm going to fight. Like, this is not how I'm going to go play basketball, where football practice like creates basketball players for some cases, but also some guys I think know that they're going to be like 6'10".
Yeah.
And if you're 6'10" and athletic, and you're not working on your threes, or if your parents are both over 6 foot tall or 6'4", and you have a chance to go to the NBA with the prices that they are getting paid right now, and you don't put up 1,000 shots a day, I think you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah.
That's like whenever you go to a club and you see a 7 foot tall bouncer, and you ask, did you play professional basketball? They say, no, you got to question their work ethic.
Yeah.
You're 7 foot tall. All you had to do back in the day as 7 foot tall was just literally get from one end of the court to the other and just stand there.
That's right.
So if you're tall or have a chance being tall, boy, you need to get in on what the NBA is cooking right now.
Oh, yeah.
Money is huge. And if you can shoot, which it seems like it's going, what's Wemby going to make?
Oh, my God.
goodness.
400.
What is Wemby going to make?
He'll be a billionaire
$1
before he's
billion.
30.
Yeah.
He'll legitimately, by the time he's 28, be a billionaire.
Good for that. Hey, good for you, NBA.
Yeah. Doing it.
Good for you, NBA. Life is good. Cole, that's your contract, right? That's what you signed with the WWE?
Oh, yeah, $1 billion.
Nice job,
Can you
Cole.
imagine Michael Cole is a billionaire?
Yeah.
Were you going to be a sports guy ever? Or
Well,
no?
I'll tell you what, if I was a billionaire, you wouldn't see me having 4-hour delays, so I couldn't go out for dinner with you guys last night. I'll guarantee you that. I had to have my own jet.
Michael Cole, 27 years in the WWE, has only missed 3 shows. Okay?
Wow.
Yes.
3 shows I've been assigned to. I want to make that clear. Like, I don't show up to SmackDown every Friday night.
Free Michael Hayes actually does
Yes.
show up to I think,
that
every
your
single
job.
show
Yes.
that he's ever.
So he's the guy that deserves that type of credit.
But you've missed 3 shows in
Yeah, that I've
27
been
years
assigned to.
on your schedule. Commercial travel everywhere.
God.
How many miles do you have with these people?
3 million United, 3 million American, 2 million Delta.
Holy shit.
My
Yeah,
God.
What is,
So
what
you've
is,
been paid for a
I
flight.
thought I was doing it.
yeah,
Never.
legit.
And my wife flies under those same criteria. So we.
So you don't see
There
her
are
a lot.
perks. Don't get me wrong. Commercial travel, there are some perks, but it's just getting worse lately. I had a flight canceled to go to Scotland, like in a hub of Chicago. How do they cancel an international flight when you're in a hub city? Well, all they have to do is drive another airplane and put it at the gate.
Okay, so let's talk about this because there's a lot of commercial travel convo. You were traveling before September 11th, post September 11th, and then now post COVID logistics world that we're in. You're saying right now, seemingly, is the least consistent? that
Worst
you-
ever. It's the last couple of years is the worst that I've ever experienced flying commercially, and it's across the board. It's not just one particular airline. It's everywhere.
What is it? Not enough
pilot?
people?
Pilot, yeah.
What is it? You think?
I think it's just a plethora of things. I think the schedule's screwed up. I think, like, for instance, yesterday, something happened to the schedule early on. So the plane that I was going to fly from Atlanta to Indianapolis was supposed to take off at 4:15, but they pushed it an hour because the flight was going to come in. Instead of coming in from Nashville, it was coming in from Memphis. It was leaving an hour later. They just screw around with their schedules. They don't care. The airlines don't care. You've already paid. They're sold out. Every single flight is sold out. They don't give a shit. They don't. They're just going to say, well, this moron's got to get to work, so we're going to put him on a plane 3 hours from now. They don't care.
Yeah.
They really don't give a shit. And it's terrible, especially for people that might travel once every 6 months because they're going on vacation with the family or whatever. I feel bad for those people because they're stuck back in economy, in the back row by the
preparing to. They prepared for this forever.
Exactly, forever.
Pumped for it.
Look,
whole
took
family.
work off. I mean, this whole thing, and then all of a sudden, actually 2 days later now because we got this.
Well, luckily, if I'm delayed, I can go sit in the United Club or whatnot, and have a drink and watch.
Cold
the
Club,
television.
nice.
He's high society here. Now, if you have traveled 8 million miles with that math you just did.
At least.
Okay, that's like 320 times around the earth. Okay, you have traveled in 27 years.
That's absurd.
I think you're the right person in the wrestling business, and obviously there's musicians. Do they tour all year round? I don't know. You've been on tour for 27 years, pretty much.
52 weeks a year. We don't do repeats, as you know.
He's been on tour for 27 years.
Yeah,
this
pretty
guy.
much.
So at anybody, and he used to fly middle seat. This guy for like 20 years. 20. When I learned that he was flying, I'm like, yo, we got to at least have a conversation,
please.
That you're on the eye or the window. 20 years into this thing, you can't be flying in B or E. That cannot be. Well, I don't care. I just sit down and he's like literally just this little hobbit that goes just bouncing around back and forth. You're phenomenal. Your work ethic and humility is
the worst
stupid.
part about coach is you got to pay for the booze. I mean, that's the worst part about
no
being
doubt
back
about
there.
it.
Amen, brother. Joining us now is a man who hasn't had to pay for booze for the last at least 3-4 weeks, as he has been traveling back and forth from Florida to Edmonton and then all the other towns. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, from Manhattan, Ohio, AJ Hall.
Yeah.
100% on me. 100% on me. 100% on me.
Oh, no, we're good. We're good. What's up?
320 times around the earth this guy's traveled. It's got me all boozed up here.
Very sick.
And also, we got a big-time Game 7 tonight. Somebody's trying to hoist Florida like your brother-in-law, Jack Johnson, has done, like you have done in the backyard with your kids. To tell us more about everything happening this evening in a historic night for the NHL, regardless of who wins. Friend of the program, man who's been on TV all morning, selling the great game of hockey, as he should be. Ladies and gentlemen, PK Subban.
Yeah, PK! Wow.
Oh, yeah. Getting some rays. Getting a little baked today, that's all. Just getting some sun.
I like that. Seems to be on a patio that's covered, and it's a little blurry out there, but it looks like you're down in beautiful Sunrise, Florida. How are the vibes? Are they all scared to death? Because D-Butch here said you couldn't pull something out of with a freight train right now because of how tight his ass is with how everything. He's nervous as hell with how the Panthers have gone in this entire thing. How do you feel, and what are the vibes down in Sunrise?
Well, a lot of people actually here in Sunrise thought that, I would have something different to say here in Game 7 about their team other than the fact that I thought that they were going to win the game today. I think they were surprised by that. But, I think there's some hope, maybe not as much hope as the Edmonton Oilers fan base right now, but I think that hope is going to grow. I think from puck drop, that Florida Panthers team is going to be ready to go once the puck drops. They know they got to have a good start. That first goal is going to be key. But I think that the Florida Panthers just got to get back to their game. But it's a little shaky here in Sunrise. I'm not going to lie. I mean, people are a little bit on edge here. No doubt. No doubt.
I can understand why people are on edge. It's because this guy right here, he's still on pace to break a record that Wayno set in NHL playoffs for the amount of points. He's obviously come alive in a big way. That's Connor McDavid. And then we saw a photo of him. I don't know if this was this morning or yesterday. Look how joyful this guy is. He seems to be incredibly confident. Obviously, the quads, this guy can skate. You can tell that he's flying around. His beard, obviously, he's got a good playoff beard. We're in the finals. It's been a long time. Hair, obviously, flowing. Got a nice coffee with the lads. Incredibly comfortable, happy, and confident. Is that how the entire Oilers team feels, I would assume? And why do you think this has happened here? We did some research, and obviously 1945, a team was up 3-0, and then they let the other team all the way back, and then they won in Game 7. 1942, a team was up 3-0, and then they ended up losing the Stanley Cup. That's the last time it has happened when a team goes up 3-0 in the Stanley Cup final, and that was the Detroit Red Wings losing both of these. Both of these, the Detroit Red Wings lost, obviously. Could have gone anyway. Did the Edmonton Oilers feel that? And what do you think it was that the Edmonton Oilers did to get to this point to force a Game 7?
Well, if I'm on the Edmonton Oilers, I'd be all smiles as well. First of all, you came back from being down 3-0 when the whole world thought you were done and out. And now you have a chance at a Game 7. Is it too windy here? Let me go inside.
It's that breeze off the Atlantic,
inside.
baby.
Guys, it's a crazy wind, crazy tan I'm getting, but you guys just hang on, buckle in.
It is crazy tan.
Yeah, look at this. Here we go.
Much better.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah. Are you wearing sunscreen, PK? You wear sunscreen?
Nope. I let her buck. No sunscreen.
Careful.
Nope.
Careful.
No sunscreen, boys. No sunscreen.
All right. But if you're Edmonton, you'd be pumped too, I guess.
No, listen, I'd be pumped. I mean, you're going into Game 7 with literally the best player in the game right now, who's breaking Gretzky's records left, right, and center. I mean, as a team, you guys couldn't be playing any better than what you're playing right now. Top to bottom, goaltending, defense, everything. But there's one thing. Some of those smiles could change pretty quickly because, I still think that Edmonton Oilers defense, if Florida gets back to its game early in this game and puts the pressure on a young Broberg, Ceci, who's susceptible to mistakes, you got a D-core there that's played really, really well. But if I'm looking at the D-core between Florida and Edmonton, I like the experience of the Florida Panthers in a Game 7. All this being said, Florida's got to get back to their game. But if I'm on Edmonton, I'm feeling great.
Go ahead, AJ.
Feeling great right now.
PK, what do you make of the news of Bobrovsky obviously sitting out of practice? They claim that this is kind of a normal thing that he has done for rest a couple of days ago, and he was back on the ice, I guess, yesterday or today, whatever it may be. But where do you think his confidence level is, and what's your confidence level in Bobrovsky able to kind of put it together here in Game 7?
We're in bed with PK Subban right now.
Yep, you're right in bed. You're tucked right in with me, guys. We're all in here. Bit of a gong show.
A little bit of a runaway.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Bobrovsky, I think he needed a break. I got to be real with you. Everybody thinks it's a mental thing. I think he's just exhausted. Man, 2 months. And this guy has saved nobody. There's a reason why he was the front runner for the Conn Smythe going into the Stanley Cup final. He covered up a lot of the mistakes that were being made. Florida's the best defensive team. A lot of that came on the back of Sergei Bobrovsky. So I think he's a little bit tired. I think he was exhausted, not just physically, but mentally. I think he just needs a break, which he's only human. I mean, he's a human being. So to get him out of the rink, get him away from the rink, recharge his batteries for one game, absolutely. I wouldn't even have him anywhere near the rink. Go and do what you need to do, Bob, and we'll see you Monday night for the game.
I assume he's at the beach, just like the Chuck told us that he hangs out at the beach every single off day. That's a nice little weapon that Sunrise, Florida has. They've never had Lord Stanley Cup down there for a home team. We see if that changes tonight. Edmonton, obviously, a city representing a country that would love to have Lordo back, and a Canadian's doing it all. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, PK, obviously with the performance McDavid has put on in the entire postseason, but specifically in the Stanley Cup final, if they are to go and win the cup, and let's say McDavid has 2-3 points, maybe a goal, a couple assists, sorry, Darius, but if that does happen and they do come back down 3-0, does McDavid immediately become like an all-time great in the history of hockey as far as performances go in the playoffs and just individually, or do you think he needs like another cup here if they don't get it done?
Well, he gets it done tonight. He accomplishes something that both Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux have never done.
Whoa.
And that's being down 3-0 in the Stanley Cup final to come back and win. Not only that, leading the playoffs in points, breaking records. And I'm going to go out and say this right now. Watching him lead this team, I said it earlier today, and I've been saying it, and people think I'm crazy for saying it. I watched that Last Dance, and Michael Jordan, I remember the quote, I can't remember which player it was that played on his team, but they had said, he just had the ability to win the game. He knew how to play the game. He knew how to let his teammates do their thing, and when he had to turn it on, he turned it on. Connor McDavid, I've watched him develop into one of the game's greatest leaders, maybe one of the greatest leaders in sports, if he finishes this thing off. Just watching him pull his teammates into the fight, like the difficulty to do that at 3-0, says so much about this guy's talent, ability, and how much his teammates believe in him. That's everything in sports. Like, this is what sports is all about. It's all about team. So you can be a great player. You can have greatness in you. You can have all the skill in the world. But if you can't pull guys along with you, like Jordan said, I wanted to win, but I wanted my teammates to win too. Well, Connor is showing a lot of similarities to that guy MJ, and I'm here for it. I love it. I've watched it. When he said that quote, fans just keep cheering, We're not out of this thing yet. You have to commend a hockey player for doing that. And for me, he wins this thing. He 100% goes into that select group of all-time greats, not just in hockey, in all sports.
I'm not a hockey. I agree with what you're saying about Connor McDavid, by the way. And watching him has been mesmerizing. That you name it. Even if he doesn't win, I think after watching even if they don't win the cup, he's going to win the Conn Smythe. Like, it's a whole thing. A lot more people in the sports world have been introduced to Connor McDavid, which means next year they better. It has to happen if it doesn't happen tonight. And I'm no hockey historian. I don't think Mario was ever down 3-0 in a Stanley Cup. So whatever you say, he's been able to do something that nobody else has been able to. Well, no shit. Super Mario ain't ever getting down 3-0 in a Stanley Cup final. I mean, that's just how it's. Now, Wayno, a whole different animal. He just lived in the Stanley Cup Finals, I think.
He did.
The amount of points that guy has scored in playoffs and in hockey as a whole is befuddling. They need to be telling his story more to more people.
Yeah, louder.
He needs a Last Dance, He needs one of those
Big
to let
time.
people know, like, hey, this guy, if you were to just get rid of all of his goals and assists account for points, okay? He has the most in the history of the NHL. If you were to get rid of his goals, I believe, would still lead the NHL in points in history. Like that. He is so good, and I think people are getting introduced to him, obviously, through TNT, but as this surge in hockey continues to happen, I hope there's some people out there that find, at least enough footage to kind of make this entire thing happen. Darius, who is very nervous about tonight, has a question for you, PK.
Yeah. Until that puck drops, and MJ also no Game 7s either with his finals runs. But speaking of pressure with this game tonight, which team do you think right now has more pressure? The Florida Panthers obviously up 3-0. Now we're in a Game 7 at home. But Connor McDavid, his Oilers team, getting a lot of hype. Everybody's talking about, hey, the next Jordan, the next great. Which players has the most pressure on them this tonight?
Well, everybody's talking about all this pressure on Florida. It could be one of the worst, meltdowns of professional sports and all this stuff
of all time.
The worst team in sports.
In any sport.
Oh no! Sucks so bad. They're worse than the Mets.
Whoa!
Which is crazy to me because people that say that haven't been watching. Don't know much about hockey because first and foremost, you got the best engineered hockey player on the other side in Connor McDavid, who's been breaking records. Some of them are Wayne Gretzky's, by the way. So when you're talking about a guy like that on the ice, and that's why I prefaced my pick, I said Florida Panthers in 6. But as long as there's still life and Connor McDavid is still breathing, I'm not counting him out because I know what this guy can do. So you have to respect that talent. And I think the Florida Panthers understand that. They respect the talent that's on the other side. They know what they have to do tonight. But I don't see it as in there's pressure on one team or on the other. I think both teams understand it's one game. So you take out the 6 games, throw it in the trash. None of it matters.
No.
None of it matters.
Amen.
None of it.
None of it. You know what does matter, though? If Darius Butler was up 3-0 in the Stanley Cup final.
Oh, my God.
Tomorrow.
And then they lose. That's going to be tough every single day.
I got faith in the boy.
Yeah, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I kind of do, too.
I got faith in him.
I kind of do.
I kind of have a lot of faith in Connor McDavid.
Well,
Fair.
I do have a lot of faith. He's a pretty good player.
He looks a little too happy for me. I'm excited.
He's McMoney.
Oh, McJed. Oh, not McJesus.
Yeah. Nope.
Let's not compare ourselves to the guy that moved the rock. I'm back, bitch. Okay. Let's not do that. Let's do McMoney. Let's do McJed. Let's do McDavid. Let's do the guy who potentially is going to pull something off that hasn't happened since 1942. Go ahead, AJ.
PK, what are you going to be watching early in the first period? Like for a casual fan, for me, I'm watching the game. What are you watching to see like what both teams are playing, like what the style might be, maybe some tiny adjustments being made, but what can we look for early?
Well, my eyes will be glued on the Florida Panthers for the first 10 minutes of the game. I'll be watching them and Connor McDavid. I probably won't be watching much of what Edmonton does, mostly Florida, because to me, that's going to be the tell-all of the game. If they don't find their game, the Edmonton Oilers are going to be flying all over the ice. There's going to be odd man rushes again. No. There'll be rush goals, rush chances, all of that stuff. Florida's got to put that all to bed. They got to put that to bed in the first 10 minutes and set the tone. And I think the first goal is going to be important. I think if Florida scores that first goal, I think they'll be able to find their game a lot easier than if Edmonton does. If Edmonton finds that first goal, it's going to be tough. A lot of those defensemen that I spoke about that could be exposed, they're going to gain confidence, and they get right into their groove. So the first thing that I'm going to look at is Florida in the neutral zone. Are you guys going to be above your outs? If they're back checking and there's odd man rushes, it's not a good recipe for the Florida Panthers.
Hey, explain what the hell that is. Right? Hey, explain what that is.
So here's the thing. When the Florida Panthers are forechecking, they throw the puck into the corner. They usually come with two guys strong, right? F3, and I spoke about this. Dan Orlovsky had told me, he's like, you got to explain what rush goals are. You got to explain what the F3 is. For hockey fans that don't know, you got to explain that. So F3.
Let's say not hockey fans. They hear forecheck and they don't even know what the hell that is.
Right. So there's always a buffer player. There always has to be a guy that's above the puck. So if the puck is down by the goal line, you got to have a guy high because you don't want an odd man rush is when you're outnumbered off the rush, when teams are attacking you and trying to score on your net. It's a 3-on-2, 4-on-2, 4-on-1, or a breakaway.
Fast break.
Florida, 24 goals in this series. 14 of them, I believe, are rush goals. Like, guys, the worst teams in the National Hockey League, even if they tried, couldn't do that. That's how bad Florida's been the last 3 games of the series. Which doesn't make any sense.
Come on, Bart.
So what I'm looking at...
Somebody got to take a penalty charge.
Yeah.
To simplify it, what I'm looking at are self-inflicted mistakes. Like, self-inflicted wounds. Florida shot themselves. I don't want to take anything from Edmonton. Edmonton's played great, and they turned it on the second half of that series. But a lot of those odd man rushes and goals are self-inflicted mistakes. I mean, bad decision-making, bad pinches, not managing the puck. So I'll be watching all of those things. The decision-making, the pinches. Are they managing the puck? Are they supporting the puck? Or are they giving Draisaitl and McDavid opportunities, free opportunities and freebies to go in on Bob? Everybody's talking about Bob. I mean, what the hell do you want him to do on all those opportunities? 2-on-1s, east-west? Come on.
Especially with the McChed. And there was games where Bob would stand on his head and win a game for the Florida Panthers. Not that he hasn't, but there was like some shot differentials in which the Florida somehow won games throughout these playoffs. I think everybody just expects him to stop literally everything that is fired at him. And tonight, maybe he's able to do that. You just got to stop shooting yourselves in a skate tonight, Florida Panthers. Stop the fast break. Hey, we appreciate you, brother. We can't wait to watch you tonight on TV, 7 p.m. Eastern with The Point, alongside Moose and Steve Levy and Emily Kaplan. You guys have done a great job promoting the game and covering this entire playoffs. You guys should be proud.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, and thanks for having me on the show. It's been great for hockey, so really, really appreciate it. I think the Panthers will be hoisting that cup tonight. Be a big party in South Florida.
Let's go. Okay, and maybe, they'll be able to do Miami and South Florida like Jake Tatum. I do wonder what the parade's going to look like, especially after how many Bostonians showed up, brother. That parade the Celtics had.
Oh, my God.
Historic, epic, legendary. Now, potentially the Panthers or Oilers are next. Edmonton, they would.
That would probably be the most equivalent.
No offense, South Florida. Edmonton would be.
White Ave would be rocking, brother.
Holy shit.
Oilers and Panthers. If any of those players are watching right now, my phone will be on as soon as that game's over. Vibrate. It'll be do not disturb will be off. I'll be fully engaged and available. So if anybody wants to pull me in, I'll be available.
Hey, that's good journalism. We appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. PK Subban.
Hey, look good, Mario. Yeah.
I got a comment.
Yep, go ahead.
And I'm not a big hockey guy. It's my fourth sport.
Sure. Yeah.
I bet the house on Edmonton tonight.
Jeez.
And I'll tell you why. And nobody's really talked about this. And forget about all the forechecking and the rush goals and all this other stuff.
Forget about everything he just said.
Forget about
all that bullshit.
And no disrespect. And that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is the mental aspect of it. If you're Florida, you've collapsed. You've choked. And now you're home in Game 7, and I don't know how you correct these things on such a short time frame. Edmonton has all the momentum. They have everything going their way. They're playing with house money. They have absolutely nothing to lose. If they lose the game, they lose the game. Okay, they had an opportunity to do something that hadn't been done in almost 100 years, right? I don't know if you're Florida, how you recover. I don't know how you turn it around in one game tonight, Game 7 at home. I don't know how you correct all the mistakes that he was talking about and how mentally you survive this game tonight. Just my thoughts.
Aaron Rodgers, your quarterback, has once been on the record as all you need is one play sometimes to turn around an entire team, to turn around an entire franchise, to turn around an entire season. All you need is just one thing to pop off in your direction. You think to yourself, okay, now guess who's on our side? Big Mo, who does exist and has currently been rolling against the Florida Panthers. All you need is one. Kachuk,
a minute in.
Bob actually stands.
Yeah, on his head.
On his head. It does something early. And then the Florida Panthers fans, which we know there are many.
Oh, yeah.
We know there are a lot of tickets on sale.
Yeah.
Maybe other Panthers fans.
For Game 7?
A lot of tickets on sale.
Expensive, too. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nick. There was a Game 7 Pens Caps where I think there was a breakaway or whatever, and Fleury made a huge save early, and that changed the whole momentum of the game, and then the Pens won and went on to win the Cup.
Yeah, against Ovechkin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's,
this
is sports.
Like a McDavid breakaway, and Bob just robs him right off the top.
And they start chanting, Bob, 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 and that whole place. Other than all the tickets that were for sale.
Could be other
What
Panthers
happens
fans.
if Edmonton scores first 5 minutes of the game?
Then it's over.
Game's over.
Then it's over. Send those shirts that say the Panthers won the Stanley Cup to Africa.
I'd sell my ticket, too.
People are talking about how Florida Panthers fans are selling their tickets in droves here for Game 7 because they know that those Edmonton fans will pay top dollar to get into that building because obviously this is a historic evening in the history of the NHL. And some people are saying these Panthers fans are never real. These ones, but
arguments to be made.
We know that arena has been loud. Kachuk said that arena is going to be the loudest that he's ever played in. Wow. Let's talk about some NFL stuff that's happening. Off-season football is taking place. So what does that mean, AJ? Well, we're paying attention to everything that isn't actual football. Does somebody unfollow somebody on Instagram? Wait a minute, what's going on over there? Somebody maybe run into law enforcement. Well, are they okay? All right. How about guys walking in fashion shows? Are they confident? I'd say so. Joey B ain't worried at all about his wrist injury that happened last year. He's wearing an open-backed suit with no shirt underneath it, killing it in Paris, France. Is this the first Ohio guy that has ever walked in the Paris Fashion Week? I'd say yes. He and Justin Jefferson, obviously old friends from LSU, absolutely crushed it. His Vogue magazine followed along with it all. There was horses walking in the same fashion show that Joey B was walking in. This has got to be great news for the Bengals season, AJ.
I mean, I would assume this definitely has to be great news. He probably is the first Ohio guy to be walking in this specific fashion show. But so I believe Pac-Man was telling us these are the fashions that are going to be cool like next year. These are the new things that are coming out.
I've been working on my back. I've seen this shit coming. Now, I don't know if that's exactly how it's supposed to look, just kind of like a loose opening.
You should have worn assless chaps.
But it doesn't matter what the back looks like. Do you see how cool he looks? With his hair
on the front. He looks like a model. He looks like he should be there, doesn't he? Like he looks.
Cole,
like
you wear suits every week. You're telling me you wouldn't wear that if you were asked to wear? You would wear that on Monday Night Raw tonight. That back open with the flaps hanging. You would.
It looks like when Jim Carrey came out of the bathroom.
I'd wear it on the USA Network tonight, but.
What'd you say?
I said if I wanted to look like a jackass, I'd wear it on the USA Network tonight.
Dude,
I mean, come on.
You don't get fashion. This guy doesn't get fashion.
Wait a minute, I don't get fashion. You ordered your tuxedo for WrestleMania from Amazon.
Well, 6 of them, only 3 of them fit. So.
Cole, would you rather have your quarterback in a fashion show in Paris or missing OTAs because God knows where he's at?
Oh, let's not get started with that now. Come on now.
It's a reasonable question.
He made all the non-voluntary stuff. Let's not get started with the whole Aaron Rodgers stuff now.
It's just
He's going to be fine. I jinxed the season last year. I'm not going to do it again this year.
Well, thank you for that, Cole. I mean,
it's not you jinxing it.
This is the year where the Jets fans get to experience the full Aaron Rodgers experience. And we're excited for that.
I hope so.
Because after everything that's been said about him from all the people, all the doubters, all the haters, boy, those are just chips getting stacked up right there on Aaron Rodgers.
And he's got weapons now, and he's got a defense, and it's going to be fun to watch.
And a head coach that he's on the same page with.
Oh, yeah, that guy's really good. That bum should have been fired.
Love it. Cole.
Tell him, Cole.
For who, Cole?
Jeez, we would like to reiterate the fact that opinions stated on this particular program do not reflect the opinions of other people that are on microphones on this particular program or the person with their name on the name of this program. But that is, I think, the sentiment of a lot of Jets fans.
Yeah,
it is.
I believe that is the sentiment of a lot of Jets fans.
How long has it been that way, though, Cole? How long have you guys felt that way about Saul?
I think the first year, AJ, we liked him. We thought he had something, and then I just think it went downhill from there. I think the problem is the fans believe that he's lost the locker room the last couple of years. And, he didn't handle the Zach Wilson situation, although I don't think anybody could have done anything for that kid. But it's been like that for a couple of years.
Nice
and he's got to win this year, obviously. He has to win. Whether Aaron plays the full season or he doesn't, Salah's got to win or he's out. I thought Douglas had a really great offseason. I was a little up in the air about him as our GM, but I think he had a really good offseason. Salah's got to produce this year or he's gonzo.
Zach Wilson is a sweet boy.
He's a sweet boy.
We got a chance to meet him. He's a sweet boy. He is, and he's got talent. We'll see if it works out for him this upcoming season. But the Jets, I think Aaron actually said the quiet part out loud at one of his press conferences. If we don't win, we're all gone. So that's why it doesn't make sense to.
Hassan Reddick's in Japan training too, so.
Yeah, with his samurai sword.
Yeah, he's busting his ass.
Yeah,
Really?
he's going to slice Drake May's head off.
Did you see that, Cole?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, he's got a sword.
Yep.
He looks sweet.
Yep.
And we heard Coach Saleh say he's working. We know him.
busting
Has
his
been on
ass
tape,
out there.
working his ass off, doing the whole thing. Aaron, he's not. He's got something he thinks is important.
He'll be fine.
Certainly an interesting technique by Coach Saleh, but maybe it works out for the best. Maybe he thinks that Aaron needs a little bit of sauce, maybe a little bit of spite to go in there.
Sure.
We don't know what his plan is, but we do know that Jets fans, you guys you're going to win this year.
This is the year.
We hope. We'll see.
Congrats.
Super Bowl or bust.
We'll see.
Let's continue to talk offseason NFL football. Travis Kelce.
Yeah. Once again.
Killed it.
Performance.
Poised, prepared, strong, filled with moxie, and also willing to do whatever to support his partner, Taylor Swift. Once again, I can't reiterate this enough. A football guy has gone into this pop culture world and showcased what can be. There's a lot of songs I think she has sang that I've heard through my wife's phone and through the entirety. A lot of assholes she's been with. Not everybody, but from the songs I've heard, there's been certainly some feelings that have been brought to her via other dudes in the past. Football guy going out there, performing, catching her. She's tired.
Oh, yeah.
Let's wake her back up. You still got a show to do here in London in front of 90,000 people, motivating, inspiring, and willing to wear that silly costume. I don't care. And 90,000 people, what's that? In Kansas City, he's got the entire Chiefs kingdom, including bank robbers watching him every single day. Showed up, showed out. We're proud of you, Trav. Way to go.
Never a doubt.
Go, Trav.
Never a doubt.
Good job,
Paul
Trav.
McCartney was in the crowd on the floor dancing along to that entire sequence.
Well, and
can you imagine?
Tom Cruise. I don't know if it was that particular.
It was the day before the show before.
Trav and Tom Cruise getting after it.
Vibing.
Tom Cruise comes in. He's like, Trav, what's up, dude? He's like, how you doing? You're the man. Yeah, Trav might be in the next. Yeah, Tom Gunn.
Holy shit.
Let's go. This is awesome.
Jason was there too.
Yeah, Jason, Kylie, I believe, was there. Paul McCartney
Dave
was there.
Grohl was there.
Dave Grohl was at a different
The
concert.
royal family, right?
The royal family, except for Mom.
Not all of them.
Hope Mom's okay, obviously.
Oh, buddy was dancing. Prince was dancing.
Yeah, he was shaking it off, of course. He was certainly feeling it with the fam,
I see what you did there.
Different stratosphere right now.
Where's
Travis,
Mom? Trav right now?
He's in a different,
It's absurd.
You know what I like most?
I'd be Last Dance
You know,
this year.
amen. But he just signed a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
So, and also, I think Taylor motivates him to continue to go. I think he watches her do her thing, and he goes, "Holy shit!" She sells out stadiums in every city around the entire world. She continues to make bangers. She's a massive part of the rehearsal. Everything she's hands-on in everything. He probably thinks like, this is exactly who I need to be around. Because they say you are the company you keep. The company he's keeping is taking over the world pretty much in an industry that I don't think she was supposed to take over the world as fast as she certainly did. So I think he's inspired by it. I think he wants to be great. And I think whenever he puts on that goofy suit, the costume
Goofy
in England, when he puts on that England costume. What was that thing?
It was
Tuxedo,
goofy.
top hat.
It was goofy. Let's not act like it wasn't goofy.
But him to be able to move, did you see how fit he looked in that thing?
Well, better than the Joe Burrow thing.
Happy.
No,
10 times better.
jeez.
Yeah, it's about 1,000 times better than the Burrow thing. Yeah.
Anyway, they both look fantastic. They're both crushing it. And congrats to Trav and Taylor. I think their internet official, Taylor, has finally posted a couple photos with him.
Oh,
you
they're
know?
good.
Unreal.
So it's official.
And by the way, what was
Took
up
so
on
long.
social media with Dave Grohl and the Foo
So Dave
Fighters?
Grohl said he made a. There's no reason, you know.
Saying that Taylor Swift was
I
lip
saw
syncing
that.
and stuff?
No, he said we
no
play.
way.
He said we actually play live. What? Just no reason.
Yeah.
You know? Hey, Dave, you got your own stadium. You do.
Grohl being Grohl.
Taylor's doing it.
Yeah.
Taylor's absolutely crushing it. I think my favorite part of this entire thing, and we'll wrap up on this. Travis Kelce is in London, meeting the royal family. USA hat on.
Love it.
USA hat.
Good luck.
You see that? USA Olympic hat on. Hey, how you doing? Yeah. Just want to let you know about a month or so.
Remember?
Yeah. About a month or so, we're fast in the pool.
Yeah.
We are very fast in the pool. You should see us on track.
And
on track, we're very fast. We are very fast on the track. In our gymnasty, all the way back.
Still got it.
Yeah, so
Basketball.
nice to meet you guys. Hope you guys are great. I watched The Crown. It was fantastic, you know, obviously. Rest in peace to your mom, everything like that. I respect her, whatever the case. Thanks for showing up, but USA.
Yeah.
USA. I love that happened.
The best, and a good year to do it because it is possible that England doesn't win one medal at the Olympics this year. So,
Yeah.
you know, kind of just rubbing it in.
True.
It's all right. Good luck, England.
Yep.
Well, they don't have summer ever.
True.
Yes,
Yeah.
they don't have those.
And we're better at
sports.
soccer
I don't have
now,
winter
too.
either.
They don't have
Take it
pools.
easy, Tom.
Yeah, is England good at soccer? Are you guys going to make it? Is
Top of the group. I'd say it's pretty good.
I'd say this.
So why is Wade Barrett, our broadcast colleague on WWE, complaining nonstop that how bad this England team
Well,
is?
the coach is kind of a dipshit is the issue.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Southgate's an asshat.
He's kind of checked out. He's done whether they win or lose in this tournament. So.
And also,
Really?
I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you.
Oh, no.
Wade Barrett, anytime he attacks anything, is going to be incredible. You know, he's going to be a full go. I was a massive fan of the Bad News Barrett era, and I wasn't with the WWE yet. I ran into him in like a cafe in New York one time, and he was right in front of me, and I like marked out completely. I'm like, bro, you are the man. Then he called the match at NXT whenever I was there, and now Friday night he and Corey Graves absolutely slaughtering it.
Yeah.
I love that dude. Great accent.
You know where the Bad News Barrett started? On the JBL and Cole show.
Oh, Jesus.
Which was an original YouTube show. I
watched it.
Yeah, before the Pat McAfee
Who
show
did
ever
it?
existed.
Yeah.
We were sort of the trailblazers, the forerunners. So you could actually thank me for this program today.
No, Cody Rhodes made a couple
Cole.
appearances on that program, and that's what really inspired us. Speaking of inspiring us, there's a man from North Carolina.
That's right.
Who wants to introduce more people to Bojangles and also more people to NASCAR and college baseball. Ladies and gentlemen, in front of the program, Ryan McGee.
What's up?
Four horsemen.
Four's up.
Four horsemen. That's not for
Always.
Arn and Rick and the boys. No. That's for his four college friends. They always give
Yeah.
four horsemen.
Four horsemen.
Four horsemen. Yeah, Michael Cole throwing up the four for your four horsemen right there. McGee. Hey,
I saw Arn Anderson 2 weekends ago and told him the whole story.
How'd it go?
And he's like, all right. And it was awesome. We just posed for a picture. We did the whole thing. And he signed a picture to the other four horsemen. I'm like, yeah, here you go, Arn Anderson, former mayor of Knoxville, Tennessee, Arn Anderson.
I did not know that.
Wow.
I did not know that was the case. I know that he should have given you a spine buster right there. That would have been absolutely awesome. And then put the four in your face. Let's talk about a weekend in Omaha. This has worked out perfectly for college baseball, for Omaha, certainly for Rocco's, the bar where people are buying shots. Texas A&M beats the hell out of the number one team in the country, Tennessee, in game one in the best of three series for the Natty. Then in game two, Tennessee answers. They win by a wide margin over Texas A&M. And now we got game three in a best of three to decide the World Series champion. How do we feel? Is this going to be like an explosive night? Is it going to be a big defensive night? Are they both found their groove? What do you think, McGee, we should be looking for?
It's going to be tense. I know that. And it's going to be hot. It's 100 degrees right outside this window right here in Omaha. It was in the 90s yesterday, but they're talking about like 101. So it's a night game, 6:09 local, 7:09 Eastern. But it's going to be, I really believe, so the first two games were very tense. Like the first game was tight. Yesterday, Sunday's game was 1-0 until we got into like 6th, 7th, 8th inning. So it was super tight and tense, and I think it'll be that today. But I think the dam's going to break. Like Both coaches have said, we're going to empty the benches. There's no more games after today. The pitching's actually set up pretty nice for both with rested arms. So, they're going to use everybody. And if you see a pitcher walk a batter and even two batters, he's gone. Like, they're going to yank him and throw somebody else in there because the entire roster is available for the most part. So I personally believe it'll start off tense, but this could end up being like a 11-10 deal. Like, I think the first two games were tight, and this one I think could blow up.
Go ahead, AJ.
You mentioned the pitchers it's set up pretty good. How far do you think either one of these starters could go? Like, what do you think they would let them? Like you said, 1 or 2 walks, they're going to pull people. But could you see one of these guys possibly going 5, 6, 7?
Yeah, they're all about momentum. We saw it yesterday. When Texas A&M Tennessee put a guy on the mound and pulled him almost immediately, and the same with Texas A&M because they kind of like you got a couple of batters, and if you don't have it, you don't have it because we don't have time to mess with this today. So yeah, I think the starters could go. The big thing is both these teams bullpens are amazing, particularly closers. So what we're going to see is, even if it's a 3-run game, even if it's a 4-run game, when we get into the last couple of innings, you might see those closers come out a lot earlier, than what we normally see because they're going to try to close the door. But I'm going to say it's going to get desperate, but I feel like, I'm in the Texas A&M team hotel. The Tennessee team hotel is right next door. And I've been here for a long time, and it's just tense. Like there 30,000 people there. So literally like climbing rafters and like squeezing through fences and trying to see the game. There's 9,000 people trying to get standing room only tickets. And they were kind of quiet yesterday because it just was tense. And so I feel like the dam's going to break today. So that's a really long way of saying, yes, they could go a while, but I don't think we're going to see any pitcher for more than a couple innings today.
I saw a tweet that you put out before Game 2 that basically gave the percentages of who wins after Game 1. How often do we get to a Game 3 here in the final? And what are the percentages of what whenever it gets to this point?
We get to 3 games a lot. And I know this because I had to book my travel, right? And so, and what night can I really get drunk? Because if there's a day game, I can't the night before. But last night I did. Full disclosure, because there's a night game today. But I'm leaving a little more. But
what do we have? A little whiskey?
What stopped us?
Yeah.
Whiskey, beer, what was it?
Yeah, but I'm a pirate. So I walk into these. They get these really. You guys come to Omaha. The old city is like this, or the old market is this amazing area, and they have this incredible, like really fancy stuff. I just walk in and go, all right, what's the fanciest rum you have that tastes like something I could get at the grocery store? And that's what they give me. But yeah, yeah. So the percentage is this: we get to Game 3 a lot, but the percentage is that 2/3 of the time the team that won the first game typically wins a series. And so, if you're Tennessee, that means you got a 1-in-3 shot. If you're Texas A&M, that means even though you lost yesterday, it's 2 out of 3. And I think the reason is because you win the first game, and we saw with A&M yesterday, when they had a 1-0 lead, they weren't ready to put their closer in the game. If they'd had a 3-0 lead, I think they'd have put him in the game early. They saved him for Game 3. So if you win on Game 1, it gives you a little bit of leeway, whereas Tennessee yesterday kind of went with the every man off the bench if we need them on Sunday. So, yeah, I think the advantage is still to Texas A&M because of that. But Tennessee's still the number 1 ranked team in the country.
I saw one of the closers for Tennessee. This Mustachio man, he was a senior, 5'11", 176. But to your point, I think it was one batter, and then they brought in another pitcher, and I'm like, oh, this is how college baseball can literally be. Tonight could see a quick exit for plenty of aces as we got a national championship on the line. And journalists out of Syracuse University, Michael Cole has a question for you.
Hey Ryan, obviously college baseball has taken off immensely the last number of years. Will they ever expand from 2 out of 3 to 3 to 5 or 4 to 7, do you think, as the sport continues to grow?
No, and the reason is this, because they play 3-game series like all throughout the regular season. So there's kind of a natural fit. And, in the entire postseason tournament is a double elimination tournament. And so it's a double elimination in the finals. And again, every weekend is a 3-game series. So that's kind of the rhythm of the sport. Now, for years, they went with the 1-game championship game. When the College World Series was on CBS for years, we always remember Warren Morris, right? When he had his home run down the right field line to upset Miami, and he was hurt and the whole thing. The foul pole is still sitting over here in the parking lot. But we remember that. But for years, because CBS wanted it, they just had the one. I hated that. The drama was fine, and Warren Morris is great, but the 2 out of 3 is the rhythm of the game. And I talk to you guys know I talk to you guys all the time, but don't mess with the fabric of what the sport actually is. So
we just boomed McGee out of there.
Yeah.
Did I just boom McGee?
Was that Foxy again?
No, come on. No, it wasn't Foxy. That was this whole Wyatt stuff going on again.
We're not doing this.
Might be the oil people.
We got a hard out here on ESPN. We'll continue on YouTube, ESPN Plus, and TikTok Live. We can't thank you enough for joining us. Tomorrow, we live in a new time. Who's the Stanley Cup champs? Who's the World Series champs? Am I alive? We'll see you then. You see that was a transition into the closure of one show and then the beginning of another, Mike.
Really good how you did that. You're like a professional broadcaster.
Take notes.
Well, nobody really talks about that. Speaking of professional broadcasting, my deal is actually our deal with ESPN. That seems to get confused.
True.
In a lot of the things that I see on the internet. Our deal feeds 15 people, in the entire thing. So if anybody's aiming to be the most and the highest, I think you already got it. Yeah. I think that's already. That doesn't get talked about by a lot of the people that graduate from fucking Syracuse and all those other fucking places that are the super journalists, Michael Cole, all your friends that just bury us on a regular basis. How come they never get anything right? How come they, when it comes to us, how come they never get anything right?
They're not my friends.
They are. You're in the same school.
I'm not really a journalist anymore, Pat. I'm a sports entertainer.
Oh, gee.
Come on. Don't move the goalpost.
You got that Syracuse degree, though, right there in the office.
Yeah,
we
I do.
know.
Exactly.
Pray to it.
What was the award? Did you win an award?
I won Robert Costas Scholarship at Syracuse University.
Bob's dad?
Yeah.
Bob? Wow. Bob Costas' dad?
No, Bob Costas himself went to Syracuse before me. Yep.
Oh, so Bob Costas paid for you to go to school?
No, I won it as I was in college. It was to be as the best sportscaster in the school.
He was right.
Wow. Bob knew?
Good eye.
Yeah.
Did he vote on it?
I have no clue.
Anyone in your class around? Is anyone in your class around working that we would know?
Mike Tirico.
Oh, you won it over him?
It's a big one.
That year I
beat Tirico?
Yes, I did.
Did you guys come to blows? Was he fucking pissed?
No, not at all. Me and Mike were very close friends. We still talk to this day.
They talk about that class at Syracuse like they talk about the Rivers, Eli Manning, Ben draft.
Yeah, it was same thing. Yep.
Yeah.
Historic.
Actually, the Zach Wilson draft they talk about. But
Trevor Lawrence just got $275 million.
he's the only guy.
Well, is he too? That's a whole question. Are any of these? Here's a good question. I guess it's a better question for these quarterbacks that we judge as rookies. Are any of them going to a team that has a chance to win? And I guess C.J. Stroud kind of debunks that entire thing because none of us would have said the Houston Texans were ready to win with a rookie head coach, rookie quarterback, and a dumpster fire of a recent history.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they turn the entire thing around. So I guess any quarterback or culture can be changed immediately. But boy, a lot of these guys go to teams that just have no chance.
Bryce Young.
Right.
Bingo.
Yeah, I mean Trevor Lawrence. You could argue too when he first went there. He had no chance. That whole first year, we basically said, "Hey, forget about that. That doesn't count."
What if a part of this deal was like, "We're sorry."
Yeah,
for how this whole thing started. Yeah. What if that would be a funny situation?
We know that once you sign this deal, people are going to compare your record to Mac Jones, and they're going to compare it to all these guys. We understand that first year just didn't count.
We're so sorry.
Sure.
Okay, the 14 losses. Just
here's an extra $55 million.
Yep, enjoy it.
Just as like
yeah.
We misjudged the situation.
Urbanville tax.
Hey, he's obviously going to be back on college football coverage this year. Does he get back into coaching in college ranks, I wonder? You know what I mean? I wonder at any point, like,
I think so.
I
all
think
these guys leaving with like the college coaches, leaving, like the guy leaving BC to go to Green Bay and Saban obviously being done. Do you think you can go from?
But with his resume, there's a chance that he can do like I don't have to be on the road. And if you go to a place that has big NIL thing, like the way he can act, because his college resume is fucking phenomenal. I mean, Utah, Florida, Ohio State, just whatever you need. However, let's go ahead and turn this thing around. He's hard-nosed too, right? Like, I mean, I remember he allegedly kicked the kicker. Allegedly.
He's wired. Those guys are all like, you could say he is big enough to be like, hey, I'm not going to do the traveling stuff, but he would, because that's just how they're wired. Like Saban was still doing it and he didn't have to.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. Now, Coach Prime has taken on
Sure.
Hey, listen, we'll Zoom, we'll FaceTime, we'll get people to Colorado so they can see the place. He's kind of been able to reinvent the entire process, but he's Coach Prime. Like, does Coach Urban Meyer have enough clout in the modern world to be able to get back into college football and just run shit? I'd assume yes.
I think so.
assume so.
I'd assume yes.
I mean,
He's
I think
only 59.
It's one of those things where
He's only 59 years old?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
He's still young. Obviously, he had like the heart stuff and everything. But even before Notre Dame hired Marcus Freeman, like they were talking about how that was always Urban's dream job. And Marcus Freeman's been great so far, and they're in playoff contention every single year. But same deal, like when Brian Kelly went to the SEC, if Marcus Freeman were to get an offer to go to the SEC or something like that, and he decided to take that job, and Urban doesn't have a job by then, I would imagine Notre Dame would be first in line calling him, because they're one of those schools who has an endless pot of money. They could do that. Or even Ohio State, like with how much pressure Ryan Day's under, like if he doesn't win a national championship every year, and they start to try to run him out, like they would happily bring Urban back in.
AJ, were you at that event, or it might have been during the week, so you weren't able to make it, and we appreciate you missing it. But I guess Tressel and Urban Meyer both came out, because I saw the headline. The headline said, Tressel and Meyer put more pressure on Ryan Day.
Yeah.
And I think they came out and said, like, this is the greatest roster maybe ever assembled in the history of Ohio State, let alone the coaching staff, but just the roster as a whole. It's like, is that how everybody in Ohio feels? I guess that's every year. We're supposed to win the Natty is how people in Ohio feel.
Yeah, it's definitely every year where you can't lose a game all season. But now I think with all the money that everyone knows that they spent and the roster they have, and then of course former great coaches coming out saying this roster is unbelievably talented. There's studs everywhere you look. Yeah, I think it's amped up a little bit this year, no question.
How about Tressel and Meyer going like, I wish I had this.
Yeah.
This would have been rude.
Damn it.
Tressel's like, I had guys selling memorabilia for tattoos. Now we can just give them $500,000. I mean, could you imagine?
Right.
Could you?
Yeah.
Could you? Urban, could you fucking imagine? And I know Tressel isn't like the biggest. Could you imagine if we had what Ryan Day has right now? And then they do that interview and they're like, we're actually just talking about how awesome it would be to be Ryan Day right now.
They're going to have to go a different direction if they don't win a national championship this year. This guy spoiled.
Can't get it done.
What if Tressel and Urban Meyer come back as co-head coaches
That'd be sweet.
of the Ohio
Tressel
State?
does just special teams.
Ryan Day, obviously an immense amount of pressure, and obviously has the talent to go on and win it. But this year they're talking about Ohio State and this team. That's basically the chatter. Like, hey, here's the two that are going to inevitably run the Big Ten and run the SEC. And it's like there's like 15 other schools that are like, hold the phone now.
Yeah.
We got a lot of returning starters. We got a new quarterback in a different situation. We got an opportunity as well. College football, less than 10 weeks away.
Yeah, so we're 73 days away from NFL football. I think we're like 62 away from college football. I forget the exact one.
That's awesome. Let's take a break. We'll return on the other side with hour 3 of this particular program with Michael Cole guest hosting. A lot of things happen around the sports world that we have to talk about. Austin Reeves has come out and chatted about J.J. Redick being his new coach. Can't wait for that. Michael Phelps was at the Olympic swim trials getting a big ovation. We like to hear that, AJ.
Absolutely. He's the man.
We like him receiving his flowers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See, Pat? You need to remember. You need to remember what that guy did.
Might be.
Yeah, he did it all. He won it all. And he heard Australia chirping a little bit and was like, fucking think I can see.
Yeah, exactly.
Hold on.
My arm's still longer than everybody else that's ever been born.
Yeah.
Are my toes more webbed than any human in the history?
Yeah.
Do I have a work ethic where I could get in a pool if I had to?
Yeah.
Keep running your mouth, Ozzy. Running your mouth. 2028 might see a return of the big bad wolf. You keep doing that. I like there's a rivalry in swim. And I also like the fact that the Americans, the swim, I feel like they think that this is like our best team.
Yeah.
We're going into Paris. We're not swimming in those poop rivers they got over
can't
there.
swim in the sand.
Don't do that.
We're not swimming in their poop rivers. No Americans.
Do we have a backup?
Huh?
Do we have a backup? They claim that river is not ready.
They're taking the Boys Park wave pool and setting it up over there.
There we go.
And they'll have to swim into the wave that the Boys Park wave creates for an extended amount. They did the math and said, like, instead of swimming in the Seine River here that goes through the middle of Paris, that we can't swim in because protesters are pooping and diarrheaing in it. So the E. coli numbers are spiked, so it's not healthy enough for any of the actual Olympians to swim in. We'll bring in a Boys Park wave pool. You got to swim into this thing for 45 minutes. That equates to the amount of miles that it would be in the poop river that they can't swim in. Shout out to old Poopy Paris, by the way.
Yeah, bingo. There was a bunch of, if I remember correctly, poop and garbage in the Rio River, too, and they got that cleaned up in time.
Yeah, I think these French poopers, though.
Yeah,
I think there's
for like 5 years.
It already
They've
reeks
spent
there,
billions of dollars trying to clean this thing up.
Yeah, it's going to be tough because the food that they eat over there, cleansing.
Oh yeah.
Aren't they timing it up? They're saying, "Hey, go take a dump at this time." They're all trying to do it together.
Yeah, they're spraying their shit so that no matter what the riptide is, which I've heard has gone a little crazier, no matter what it is, we get a little diarrhea.
Just knock them in. Just knock them in if you see them.
You're right.
Yeah, you just got to kick those people in.
No, but then they'll puke. They want to be in there. Remember, I think that's kind of their thing. Like, we're okay with swimming in poop, are they?
Yeah.
And that's really the big protest that they're doing. This is a real story, and we're giving you actual information right now.
Well, you're a journalist.
Bingo!
Thank you, Cole.
You get it.
Yeah.
But they are spraying poop all over that river.
Yes, they are.
Just like they were spraying flares all over the 18th green at the Travelers up there in Connecticut.
Yeah. Connecticut's the worst, but now that we're talking about it, it's probably one of the better protests I've ever heard of when you think of efficiency and kind of actually working.
Yeah, they're hanging their asses off of bridges.
Yeah, no TP.
And just dumping in there. Not even getting on their legs. They practice so much at their houses in the lead up to this event that they're actually able to not get any poop on their legs. There is no run.
Wow. This is fascinating. This is the most fascinating conversation I've ever been involved in on television. I swear to God.
They all have an app where they're scheduling their dumps.
Yeah, and people do tutorials like, hey, this is how you do it if you're on this bridge.
And like Waze?
Really?
The Waze app that tells you like if there's cops or an accident or something like that, they actually tell you where the high rocks are, so don't dump here because it'll hold up the poop.
Exactly.
We need the poop to get down into the water so that shit can nestle and cook up some real E. coli.
Yep.
These French poopy protesters are really ahead of the game. These dumpers are truly magnificent, and I hope other protesters follow suit, so we just got people shitting all over the place.
Yeah. Because they have designated areas too. Like, hey, if you know you have a huge log, like you need to go to that one. But if you know you're going to diarrhea and there's going to be some mud squirts, you got to go over there.
What's the app called?
Poopopolis.
Poopopolis, yeah.
It needs some.
It's called Wee Wee PP with 2 O's in between.
Some dude wipe.
What's that?
Send them some dude wipes. Right.
They're not wiping.
No, they don't want wipes.
They don't.
They're actually they're doing
exactly dunking their butts in the water to get all the remnants out of there.
No poop left behind.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
Yep.
Dingleberries are in there. I think that actually is one of the rules. Dingleberries required.
Yeah, exactly.
No
Did any of them
dingleberry.
store it? Did anyone dump in a big trash, in a trash compartment and they're going to bring it?
They did say Jean-Luc did that.
If people are at work, they can poop in Tupperware containers and then go dump it on their lunch break.
And people have been doing.
Will someone come pick it up for you? Will someone come pick it up from your work and dump it?
Honestly, I don't know why we're the only ones talking about it.
Me neither.
We just
What
want
are
our
they
swimmers
protesting?
to swim.
Is this oil? Is this we don't want oil
cleanup
anymore?
costs, I believe, for the Olympics.
Yeah, they already spent it all. I've watched the whole thing. They already spent so much money
protests
trying to
don't
clean
always make sense, okay?
Like
but some do, right?
The Earth protester who kicked the flowers.
Yeah, what is that guy doing?
That's on your team, pal. I don't know if anybody else here is, but the flowers are on your
They also
team.
ruin the grass.
Well, why did the climate protesters run into the 18th green yesterday?
Well, that right there, we don't know. And then kicks flowers, Don. It's like, who's on your? Who
I
are
think
you?
that guy was rogue too. He wasn't.
that guy
he wasn't wearing the same shirts as everybody else. I think he might have just been a drunk fan going, "I'll get in this."
I don't think he got his shirt off quick enough.
Poor Scotty Scheffler.
Because they were all in there. Scotty Scheffler misses his. That guy with the mustache was the most pissed, most matter of fact.
He was the most protest-looking guy ever.
And this guy's like, I regret this.
What did I sign up for?
I think that was the guy that got bodied, got tackled, and may have broken a couple arms.
I didn't read this in the protest pamphlet that I'm going to get speared in half.
He was moving slow already.
Way to close ground.
He might have started
it's scary,
drinking
though.
throughout the day.
Well, Akshay said that he was scared for his life. And honestly, you have no idea what these people have in their hands, especially there's no way you're able to metal detect everybody that's coming through a golf tournament. That's like on a football field whenever those protesters are running down with a flare on the sideline and some player took them out.
Bobby Wagner.
Or Bobby Wagner. And people are like, didn't have to do that. It's like, you don't know what the fuck that person has. That person literally just jumped over something onto a field when everybody knows, like, hey, that's not how this goes. And then starts running with something smoking at a group of people. It's like, you have no idea.
Yeah.
And Akshay said, he's scared for his life. What if Akshay was sweet chin?
That's what I'm saying.
man.
We need to teach him. No, tell Scotty. Let's teach Scotty how to tackle. Can you imagine if Scotty just absolutely form tackles one of these people?
Scotty tackles cops with his car. We know that.
He was concerned he was going back to the to jail. He was. Can you imagine poor Scotty? He's standing over a putt to win the tournament, and all of a sudden, here come the cops. He's like, what did I do now?
All he has to do is make that putt. He wins. Instead, he leaves it an inch outside.
Right.
Tom Kim comes back and answers. Then first overtime, hole 18 there. I mean, he sticks it 6 feet.
Dude, he's insane. 6 wins this year.
It's
Only
a huge
guy since
putt by
Tiger
Tom.
Woods to do that at number 1.
Yeah, he's a stud. $27 million plus in purses.
To play golf.
That's excluding a Nike sponsorship that I assume is gigantic.
Yeah, massive.
And every other.
Hopefully that has grown too with each win he has. Hopefully he has like incentives.
He's must watch. But you do hear the people saying, well, a lot of live golfers not golfing every weekend. It's like, I don't think it matters. Let's just watch what Scotty's scores are.
Yeah, he's learning in Nashville this weekend too.
I don't know. Terrell Hatton was locked in
with those drones.
Well,
Could you imagine what Hatton would say if he had to golf next to Scotty Scheffler?
I don't know. I would
This
love it.
fucking guy just the amount of talking Hatton does.
The wind. He couldn't putt because of the wind.
Well, the drones got John Rahm double crossing the water.
Every fucking time in his fucking backswing. These fucking drones.
He loves it over there.
He does. He's having a great time.
Him talking about the drones making a sound in his backswing, and then it says golf but louder.
Yeah.
And I sign up. I saw 600 million. I didn't fucking see this.
You can wear shorts.
Drones in my backswing. Yeah, I can wear shorts. I get 600 million. We're having fun.
I didn't think about this.
Drone's been there.
Turn this up.
It's the penalty.
Yeah, it's a double cross.
It's fucking incredible. Right on my backswing. Fucking drones every time.
First mistake of the day. First mistake since the opening hole yesterday for John Rahm.
Golf but louder right there.
I mean,
and DeChambeau is literally teeing off there the hole before, going like this to the crowd. And then fucking driving the green on a 416-yard par 4. What a weapon.
And he left it like 12 feet from the pin.
Twice, 2 different holes. This guy, with the 3-wood, I think he drove a 400-yard par 4, and then a 416. He's awesome. He should be in Poopy Paris.
He should be.
But he can't. He knows he signed up for it. All right, let's get to a break. We'll be back on the other side. You are the greatest people on earth. Thank you so much for allowing us to do this every day by showing up and watching a bunch of dumbasses talk about everything that they witnessed in their lives. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. Take 5. What an honor. What a dream. Being a part of game day was a joke. Being on the field for this is a joke. We continue to live the dumbest life of all time. What a time to be alive. Let's enjoy the hell out of this weekend in 2023 in We are live from an empty Mercedes-Benz Stadium. All the off-season workouts, all the sickness, all the puking, all the commitment, all the dedication. We got 4 teams left, Coach. What's the vibe of that locker room getting ready for this game?
We're going to swing as hard as we can in this game, and CJ's our leader, and he's going to lead the way.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we're going to try to make the most dumb television on earth this evening live from this field right here in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Darius Butler, 9-year NFL vet, played at UConn. That team stinks, but they're coming back. Stanford Steve here, and this man right here wearing a Wolf t-shirt underneath a sport coat. He works for me full-time. But what are you excited about this evening, Connor?
I mean, Pat, like you said, I have the IQ of a goldfish, so I'm not really taking all of this in strictly because there's so much. The moment is huge.
You know where you make your money, and this college level is the red area. Georgia, number 1. 120 is where Ohio State is ranked, which is nuts.
Max Duggan is a dog.
Let Duggan cook.
Connor,
good job, guys.
How you boys? Kirk, we say dumb stuff on the internet every day.
You guys be out there, Coach.
See if he can cover him.
In the boots.
Clear on your guys.
Connor, you're on ESPN.
How about it?
How about it?
Didn't say fuck, didn't say shit. I was close, but I didn't do it.
That's a win. That's a win.
That's fun. It's electric. Look at this, man. Look at this.
Hey, Coach, I don't know if you headbutted one of your guys or not, but
Cut yourself shit.
you are awesome.
I got a 6-year-old son, man. I mean, it's
They're going to have to rely upon those dogs. Cade Stover, the tight end for Ohio State.
Yeah, number 8.
He's like 4th-generation farmer. Sponsored by John Deere.
Yeah.
Okay, and they don't just put that deer on anybody.
Hey.
Yes.
There's going to be billionaires barking. Okay, there's going to be billionaires barking. Grown folks in khakis barking in unison.
Wow. So much for learning. That's got to become a thing next year. No, I'm serious. This goes down. Can't do that.
Yeah, that was great.
You all right? You all right? You all right? Help him up. Spill anything? Nope. You spilled your phone.
Could have been worse. Could have been much worse. The college football playoffs are about to kick off in Phoenix, Arizona. Oh.
My name is Peyton Manning. That's an Ohio fucking wet dream, not just a dream, dude.
Did you see A.Q. Shipley stacked on top of Cube, on top of Cole? I feel a shot coming. Sound like Taylor. Oh, I told you! I gotta go. To the bathroom? Let's go, baby. Wait a minute. Congratulations. And the encore this evening is the reigning defender. Undisputed national champions in a home bout against the Ohio State Buckeyes. I'm joined by Darius J. Butler. Then we have the face of Ohio State, J.J. Hawk. Boston Connor, Kai Schmidt, and A.J. drove down here in a Sprinter van. His son puked twice on the way down here. Broke an iPad. Had the windows bashed in this morning. Nice. Just on the streets of Atlanta here. If Ohio State loses, would you jot this down as the worst trip of all time for you and your
we
family?
love adversity, Pat. We love adversity in Ohio.
In the end zone, Marvin!
Oh, Marvin!
It is so loud.
You can't hear a thing. Marvin Harrison Jr. ran how many routes, Connor?
I think he had a post, then he had a corner, then he had another post in the end zone.
Tough to guard. Might see everything. This guy is all about ball. He is all business.
All ball, all the time.
Tunnel screen.
Looks like he's about 7'9", 550. He looks 2 feet bigger than everyone else out there.
D-Butt, look at this dog. Look at this dog.
Look at him. Look at him. One-on-one over there. Oh! Grab that thing.
Touch the ball,
touch the ball. We'll throw back the ref. Get that.
Throw that thing, sling that thing. Hey, good by that ball.
Let me punch it. What a run. Again. There go that man again. That's too tight end. Deep shot. He's got him.
Are we live right now? And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Fours up. Put your fours up. Oh, it's coming right to me. Short. That's short.
Any thought of like a fake punt direct snap here, Pat?
That would be awesome. There it is. There it is.
They call timeout. What happened?
The timeout on the fake punt in the fourth quarter is being described by a lot of people as maybe the greatest timeout in the history of college football.
You know, we've had 2 punts faked on us this year. We are very aware and know that people are going to try to steal possessions.
Connor, what quarter is it?
I believe, Pat, if I check my left hand, it is the fourth quarter.
Snap down, hold good. Kick is.
Looks good. Get it, catch it. Yeah.
What a kick to put the Buckeyes up 6.
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge your great catch under the goalpost. I want you to know when I saw you make that, I thought for a second, is he going to return it? I had visions of kick 6 when you caught that ball, so don't do that to us anymore. But
Jackson takes a shot to the corner. And if you didn't know who we were before our show, yes, every day it is somehow this time.
Wow, that's stupid. What a game. What's
on a drink. It was a good time, man. From all of us to all of you, Happy New Year. Enjoy the hell out of your evening.
Probably the most interesting trade was the Randy Moss trade. After the draft, the first day of the draft, we've been trying to trade for Randy Moss for 2 months. All like childbirth. I mean, it took forever. After the first day of the draft, I talked to Mr. Davis. I said, are we going to make this deal or not? And he said, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it for your 4th. And I think we were picking like 7th in the 4th round. I said, well, we got to get the guy in for a physical. We can't take his contract. We're going to have to renegotiate his contract. And Mr. Davis said, well, that's your problem. If you want to trade for him, then you get it done. I said, all right. I call up Randy. Hey, Randy, this is Coach Belichick. Boom. Hangs up the phone. What? Let me try this again. Randy, it's Coach Belichick. Who is this? Who's pranking me? Who is this? Bam. Hangs up the phone. Randy, this is Coach Belichick. We traded for you. What? Is this a joke? This better not be a joke. Who is this? No. This is, all right. Really? I said, yeah, but look, we got to get this done by tomorrow at noon. He goes, all right, what do I need to do? I said, you need to come up, take a physical, and we need to renegotiate your contract. By noon? Yeah. He goes, well, I'm in Houston now, but I got a plane. I'll be there.
Nice.
He flies, and he's there at 8 o'clock in the morning, comes in and takes the physical. You know, the old,
Yeah. Make sure he's
live. Okay, you're good. Renegotiate the contract. We're done at 10 o'clock. And first thing he says to me is, where's the playbook?
Oh, that's awesome.
I said, right here. He said, okay, because when I walk out there with the first team with Brady, I got to know all the plays. I can't go out there and make mental errors and screw up. I got to know his offense. And he was smart, man. This guy was smart. On this post-safety coverage, what are you going to do? He goes, Coach, you ain't going to see any post-safety coverage against me. Like, Coach. He goes, you're going to see cover 2. We haven't seen cover 2 in years. He's like, you're going to see cover 2. And he was right. And then he would say, well, here's how I'd run this route. Here's how I'd run that route. And I started thinking, like, we got to start giving Randy some routes. We're running this, and they play cover 2. How we can move him into the slot. He's like, move me into the slot. I said, yeah, so you can get in the middle and cover 2. He's like, all right, good. 25 touchdowns.
So many.
Yep.
Opens up the running game, too.
I'm telling you, it was Randy, come on, man. I'm trying to.
Jalen Milroe often wears his own branded apparel reading LANK across the front. It's an acronym that stands for Let a Naysayer Know. Being told by his former offensive coordinator, Bill O'Brien.
That is not what I thought.
Is that not what you thought?
Boy, let a naysayer know.
Let a naysayer know.
Of course.
The professional's right in the middle of his lead. That's all right. I just keep going.
You almost lost me. It got real tight up here as you were. I just want to let you know.
Reese, you were too smooth with that. I thought it was going down. I thought it was going down out here.
Oh, sorry about it. Let a naysayer know.
Let a
naysayer know. That's what we thought the whole time. That's what we all thought.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show sticks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Sport! Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this massive Monday, June 24th, 2024. Hour 3 of the program starts now. Sports!
Hi. Hello again, everybody. I'm the voice of WWE.
Michael Cole! On the backboard right there, that's AJ Hawk. Darius J. Butler is there. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, Town Diggs in the cowboy hat. And the toxic table at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Join me on this.
I just want to make sure. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for promoting myself. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Just shut the fuck up.
Whoa. Been wanting to do that for a long time.
He's Michael Cole. Hey, way to go. Hey. You got your merch now. Everybody know. Hey. He's Michael Cole. Hey. He got his merch. Hey.
Thank you for having me, buddy.
Hey, congratulations on having merch.
Thank you.
I might take it down now after that fucking charade.
Why?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, why?
You could have just let it be.
It's appreciative.
Well, no, I was. Thank you, AJ. I was appreciative.
No,
of
it
you
was
doing
one of
that
those.
for me.
Look at me.
Yeah,
Look at me.
It wasn't
smug. Yeah, it was.
Well, it wasn't smug at all. You're a dick, by the way. And it was just me showing the appreciation to this show for what you've helped me accomplish in my career.
Which is.
So if you don't want that, fuck you. Thank you.
Hey, no problem. No problem, Michael Cole. I'll take that. Yeah, no problem at all. No problem at all. That's not the first time you've said fuck you to somebody on air. Remember, you were hosting a talk show. Somebody called in
on the Howard Stern channel.
Yeah, and this guy calls in and says something about Cole, and he goes off on, oh, what are you doing? You're calling into my show that I'm hosting. Fuck you, like Cole.
It's not. You can get it on. If you find it, if you Google it.
Cole, let's talk about your career though. For 5 years, maybe 20. I don't know how many years. You were kind of a heel, voice of the WWE, not liked by the WWE universe. Now, Michael Cole is over, baby.
Oh, yeah.
So those things, we're not the only people that own that merch. You're acting like we're the only ones that have that. That's not true. There's a lot of people with Michael Cole merch. Michael Cole's over, baby.
I hope so. Well, thank you. I mean, it's been a long road. I think it's one of those things where if you last long enough, people
there we go.
will actually
way to go.
Right?
Come around. Hey, stick with it. If you stand the test of time, people respect it.
It was tough. I mean, it was tough. You got to remember, when I came into the company, I'd come from CBS News. I was a wrestling fan, but knew nothing about this business. And as you're aware, it is a tough business to learn. It's a tough business to be a commentator for. And I also had to replace probably the greatest of all time in Jim Ross. And, it was a tough position to be in right out of the box. And somehow I persevered and got through it.
Atta baby Cole! It's an honor to be your tag team partner every single Monday night on Raw. Tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern on USA Network. Chad Gable's back, AJ. Did you hear?
I heard Triple H talk about that. I mean, someone get a DNA check on that guy. They had to clone him. They had to do something.
Okay.
He was dead.
Okay, so you believe the Connor conspiracy, which is that Chad Gable, there's no way.
Look at that guy. He's not. That guy's alive.
He's wrestling tonight.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'll be tuned in.
He's in a triple threat match to determine who's going to qualify for Money in the Bank.
Really?
Yeah,
triple threat.
We're all learning that at the same
against
time.
Bronson Reed, Chad Gable,
Big Bronson Reed.
Wow.
And
shocker.
That big son of a bitch, Braun Strowman.
Yes.
So we got Bronson Reed, and back from the dead, Chad
Gable.
Wow.
To qualify for Money in the Bank.
Yes.
It's a heavy battle.
Wow. This guy potentially goes from a hearse to a potential Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah.
What a come up for Chad Gable. That's wild.
Incredible.
And did you see, I don't know if you saw, AJ, Foxy's been doing all this stuff to put himself over.
No.
Just like Cole did.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's Foxy. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure what's happening. It could be the oil people. It could be, I don't know.
Foxy had a little panic in his eyes earlier.
Yeah, it's not me. I about had a heart attack every time this has happened so far. Anytime the show freezes, I lose my mind. And then you guys are blaming me, of course.
I mean, maybe.
Oh, sorry.
Woe is me.
Well, yeah, I don't lie to you guys. That's the biggest thing.
Well, Foxy, we do believe you have been an honorable, truth-telling person to us through this entire thing. But last week you started lying to us whenever this whole thing happened.
Yep.
This week you're lying to us. I mean, it's just a never-ending tale of lies as of late, but anybody can get out of that. Let's move along here. How about the massive, massive, massive news? You know who's going to be banging the drum tonight for Game 7 down in Sunrise, Florida for the Florida Panthers?
Who's that?
Everybody knows that the big-ass drum down there is the pregame routine for the Florida Panthers. Now, they didn't always have this as their pregame show, but since they've added it in there now, we got back-to-back years of Stanley Cup Finals appearances. Will they be the first team since 1942 to trick off a 3-0 series lead and lose the Stanley Cup? Or will they win tonight at home and bring the first Stanley Cup to South Florida for the Florida Panthers? Darius J. Butler, obviously, massive Florida Panther fan from down there in South Florida. Did you see who's banging the drum, D-Butch?
I heard. I don't know if it's confirmed yet.
It's confirmed.
Roberto Luongo, former goalie for the Florida Panthers.
Let's go.
Will be in the building tonight, swinging the hammer, beating the drum. We thought maybe Dan Marino would be a part of this entire thing. Maybe Mike McDaniel would get back in there. Maybe Tua. Maybe Hawk and Tua get down there and bang the drum. But instead, it's Roberto Luongo, Florida Panther legend. And Connor, obviously, Luongo's been a goalie a long time in the NHL.
You don't look.
Look, I think this is signed, sealed, delivered. The Edmonton Oilers are your Stanley Cup champions. I think this is kind of it. I was telling D-Butt, this is probably the worst decision any organization has ever made in the history of pre-game festivities. Roberto Luongo, I believe the only Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Finals that he played in. He was goalie for the Vancouver Canucks, and they were playing the Boston Bruins, and he laid an egg, and the Bruins won 4-1 against the Canucks. And a lot of people say that the whole reason Vancouver burned down that night was because of Roberto Luongo. So I'm not sure if that
make the documentaries about it.
Exactly. So I'm not sure if that is a little telltale sign. Maybe this is trying to reverse fortune for Luongo
Down
in Vancouver.
America.
I think.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's Canada. We're in America, South Florida, so America versus Canada.
He was a Florida Panther legend, obviously.
Absolutely.
That's why he's banging the drum beat, bud.
He's a Canadian.
When you guys see
but he's a Panther legend.
when you see Florida Panther Roberto Luongo around town, you guys all buy him drinks. You're all super pumped and know him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He can't walk around South Florida, but he will be on the drum tonight. Look, as long
What
as
is he doing now, Robert?
As long as we got some youth and energy on that drum tonight, to get the momentum flowing early before that puck even drops in that building.
Missed
I'm excited
opportunity.
about it. So,
I just learned.
For who? Who else should have been, Ty?
I mean, you fucking bring the Hulkster out there.
Is he a Panthers fan?
Okay, I don't care if he's a Panthers fan.
They got karaoke.
Monday, that's a big night at Hogan's Hangout. I don't think he's missing it, brother.
No, like, we don't need to miss it. He goes in, he bangs the drum, and then he obviously pilots a helicopter back to Hogan's Hangout and does it. But he could have even done the bit. He could have, welcome to the Pontiac Silverado Brothers. Could have done that before the game, and then they're set. He bangs the shit out of that thing. Maybe does a leg drop through it, and then guess what? The Panthers are winning tonight 8-0.
And then he's even doing full.
Cue the music, dude.
Now, I am a real American. Taking on Canada.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. I mean,
you
it
could
wrote
actually,
itself.
like leg dropping the drum. It's the last game. They don't need the drum. So he could put somebody through the drum.
Take it down, brother.
Yeah.
Now, I believe Luongo, which is good news, I think. This doesn't feel like this was just a last-ditch pick or anything like that. I think he works in the front office of the Panthers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no.
Christ.
So I think
that's even worse.
Yeah.
Was he the goalie before Bob got there, too? Maybe.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. He's won 2 gold medals for Canada, so he's got some big game chops. But Connor is right. He did lose that Game 7.
This does feel like they had other lines in the water.
Yeah.
Like maybe 2 Hulk Hogan. Maybe 2 Dan Marino.
Sure.
Maybe 2 Tua.
Oh, no.
Maybe 2 McDaniel. And then front office, remember, we always got Luongo literally sitting in an office right down here if we ever need it. And they said, Game 7, Stanley Cup Final at home, you know what we need. Get out from behind the desk.
Bill Zito told him, get the fuck out there and bang that drum.
Yeah. Hey, Bill Zito's been very intense in his suites.
That's who should be banging the drum. Bill Zito.
With his water bottle.
What's he going to do if they lose tonight?
He's going to murder like 15 people probably. I don't know.
How do you feel? Have you seen this Bill Zito?
Yeah,
he's an intense character.
Yeah, right there. He's crazy. Well, they blew a 3-0 lead. I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah, I mean, he's not happy. And then there's another one where the Edmonton Oilers, fuck! You actually hear him say it right there.
That's awesome.
And then the Edmonton Oilers fan taking a selfie with him and the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a real scene. The Florida Panthers have looked like a different team.
This is bad.
Shell of themselves.
They got to score first.
Van Beesbrook probably would have been the only other option.
Who's that?
Van Beesbrook, the other Florida Panther.
What about Ruud Van Nistelrooy? Maybe you get Ruud Van Nistelrooy.
Oh, that's my guy. I want him to throw out a first pitch at a Mets game.
Okay, well, the Mets could use anything, and as long as Ruud Van Nistelrooy is not cheating, I think the Mets will be happy to hear that he's pitching for them. But Ruud Van Nistelrooy, who's a soccer legend from Holland back in the day, used to score goals all the time. Used to just be parked up front, scoring goals. How you doing? Keep it moving. Was allegedly going to be the head coach for Burnley, J.J. Watson.
Yes, let's go.
Yeah,
Congratulations. But I think he's going to take an assistant coaching job elsewhere, actually.
What?
Yeah, JJ had landed a Icon plane into Burnley in the Championship League with Ruud Van Nistelrooy as the head coach, and then that plane took right back off and said, I'll park at a different FBO in a smaller plane, actually, to be here instead of be at Burnley, which is a damn shame.
It is.
Because this Burnley team could be stuck in what has been described as the black hole of soccer forever, which is the Championship League over there in England.
I'm a Preston fan.
Who's that?
Preston.
Preston North End?
Yep, exactly, because Wade Barrett is. There was a rumor going around that Wade and I were actually going to buy the club this spring.
You should.
Wow.
I don't think he should buy many of these teams. I'm watching JJ do it, and it's seemingly going the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know, they say like stock arrow up or down. In soccer, it actually happens. The team just goes down. Like it actually just moves down.
Different graph.
And anytime it's shown, it's like down. Like it actually has the stuff.
Well, you need to buy a championship team, right? That gets promoted. Isn't that's what everyone wants?
Yeah, but the problem in soccer is if you're promoted, you go up for 1 year, and chances are you're probably going to get demoted again the next year. It's just this yo-yo cycle that these teams play for so many years.
Yeah, but not Burnley, right? JJ Watt's going to live over there the full season
He
next year.
already got demoted or relegated or
yeah,
whatever.
but when he
coach.
What's that?
You might have to coach the team.
That is the worry. There hasn't been any other coaches linked to Burnley except Rude. Smart play by Rude here because Ten Hag is on the hot seat. He gets canned. Rude, head coach of Man U.
Sure.
Okay, so-
Your phone's not ringing, Gumps?
Yeah, what's
You
the deal?
Tony
I'm
Meola?
coaching Burnley.
I pulled out. Yeah, I'm not answering that call.
It is official.
Yeah, I'm happy where I am.
Coach Gumpy of Concafa SC has withdrawn his name from the Burnley coaching search.
Damn.
No.
Wow. Holy shit. This guy can't hire anybody. Can't hire Ruud Van Nistelrooy.
Nope.
They can't hire Gump. It's all right. Up to Clarence.
That's right. They're going down.
No, they're going up. I got faith. JJ's living over there the full season. You know, this year when he
Get like
lived over
Coach K. Take a different angle. Get Coach K or one of these legends that retired.
Yeah, that
Mike-
Ted Lasso guy.
Yeah, bingo. Michael Cole told me
that's
they need
what
to
it
hire
is.
Jay Sud.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
why not?
Oh,
They could.
And then if you hire Jason Sudeikis, here we go, field an entire celebrity all-star team. You know what I mean? Now we're selling tickets. It's a spectacle.
Yep.
yeah.
100%.
Do you have any chance of being promoted back to the big leagues, though?
You never know. Maybe the celebrities get hot.
Yeah,
Maybe they find something. Maybe they figure it out.
Toller in goal. Maybe Toller just starts standing on his head.
Toller.
Listen, we're pulling for JJ, but we've talked to him the entire season of him being an owner of the team, and every time we just go, what's going on, bud? What's going on? But the story will be even better when this Burnley team loses a coach, was signed,
Yes.
loses coach, and we got a new coach, gone.
Yep.
Whoever they hire is going to take the boys back
Gonna
up.
be the right one.
Way to go, JJ.
Oh, yeah, JJ.
Good luck, Watt.
Congrats.
They're so fucked. He should buy a different team in like the 5th league, and then just work
He
his way
loves
back
that
up.
team, man. He really does.
He's fully committed.
He's Burnley
Who cares?
through and through, man.
He almost, down TST almost fought somebody for him.
Murdered a guy.
Ragdoll. The
For the
security
Burnley. He
officer.
loves that Burnley team. Like, force shoot, all in on the Burnley team. I think he needs to be more hands-on. You know how they say, like, some owners are too hands-on and everything like that? I think he needs to get in there more. You know, because we were talking about the coaching hire, and we're like, how's it going? He's like, well, the Burnley staff are going to search and find this whole thing. It's like, why aren't you? Like, you're JJ Watt. You know what it takes to be a good leader.
Yeah.
You might not know the X's and O's, have somebody else in the room that can explain that, but at least get in the room and feel the aura. I think JJ needs to do more because of how much he loves Burnley, how much he's invested in Burnley, what he sees the future of Burnley. I think he needs to do more over there. Speaking of owners that do a lot, Jerry Jones, him and Mike McCarthy, don't like each other. Ty Dunn is reporting that, front office people are saying that these two, who knows? Mike McCarthy, sick of the song and the dance. Now, what is real, what is not, we have no idea. We do know that Mike McCarthy is going into his final year of his contract. And this past year, they were ready. They were at home playoffs.
Yeah.
They did it all, and then in the playoffs, they shit the bed loose to the Houston Texans. Or Cleveland Browns, sorry. With
Packers.
No, the Green Bay Packers, sorry. Jordan Love goes in there and propels himself into a conversation if they got another guy. But Mike McCarthy, now, is he at the point where he doesn't care? Listen, we're going to go, okay? I'm on my last year. If we win a Super Bowl, I'll be happy. I'll get another deal. If we don't, seems like I'm done. Is that how Big Mike's mind is right now, regardless of what reports we get from whoever and whatever side they see it? Because I'm sure there could be a story written from the other side where they saw Jerry and Mike having breakfast the other day and they dapped each other up and seemed to be on the same side. Anytime you get behind-the-scenes stuff from one person's point of view, it could be the complete opposite from another point of view. It's just the way the world actually is. And what Ty's reporting could be very real, especially because Mike's in his last year of his contract, and we know how Jerry operates. Jerry's giving tours of the facility while guys are trying to practice and work out and do meetings. It's a different place down there. How do you think Big Mike is viewing this year, AJ Hawk, going in?
I mean, I don't know exactly what his relationship is like with Jerry, but you can imagine being in Dallas, there's a lot of pressure to win and win Super Bowls, and that's all they ever care about, and they haven't done that. So, yeah, of course there's going to be Big Mike knows the situation he's in, but I think it could free him up a little bit. He knows, not because I'm not saying his relationship with Jerry, but last year of his deal, he's like, hey, this is kind of house money. I can go and do my thing. and kind of just not worry about any of the things you might worry about earlier as a head coach, I think, in your career. So sometimes that can free people up. As a player, when you just let go of everything, I don't care what happens, like, I hate everybody. I'm against, like, if you feel like you are getting screwed or something, a lot of times you play your best ball when that's the case. So maybe as a coach, that could free him up.
As long as you keep the distractions out and are able to focus. Some people let it all kind of affect everything, but it can go two different ways, especially for Mike McCarthy. Pittsburgh guy, I think he's probably got a good bit of spite in there. If I had to guess. Just if I had to guess, Pittsburgh guy, I assume there is some level of...
It's a big motivator. That's a big motivator, honestly.
Yeah, for some people, it certainly can be, and I assume Big Mike is utilizing it as that. As a Jets fan, who is a team that's talked about, going to be good. Cowboys, same thing, going to be good. Michael Cole, you live in Texas full-time. People really think Cowboys are going to win Super Bowl every single year.
Every single year. It's incredible. The entire state, unless you live in the Little Houston area. No one talks about the Texans.
Whoa. Houston's fifth largest city.
You know what I'm saying. No one talks about the Texans. They all talk about the Cowboys everywhere across the entire state. If you do not win the Super Bowl, forget about it. It's time to move on.
Who's better, the Jets or the Cowboys when this year's all said and done?
Cowboys.
Wow. Okay, so that means everybody's fired over at the Jets game. That's what you think.
Listen, I have 50 years of torture. I just can't, as much as I want to believe in Aaron, as much as I want to believe in this team and the offensive weapons and the defensive weapons, I just cannot. I can't do it.
Debo, what's that all about?
I mean, 50 years is a long time.
Of sucking?
It's a long time. But you said you weren't going to jinx it, though. So
no, I'm not. So that's why I'm not going to jinx it. I'm going to.
But he knows.
Go in with an open mind.
No, doesn't sound like it.
But I have that feeling deep in my pit that something's going on.
Who has a better chance, Jets or the Browns?
The Browns.
Jets or the Colts?
Colts.
Okay. Right. Jets or the Steelers?
No, honestly, and all kidding aside, listen, if Aaron's healthy and the defense is good, they could go a long way. It's 50 years of disappointment, guys. I mean, you gotta.
Last year too was supposed to be the year.
Yeah,
right.
It was supposed to be the one.
I was sitting at ringside that Monday night, calling Monday Night Raw with the game on my phone, and it happened, and I couldn't believe it. I was like in complete.
Oh my God!
Shock.
I would have loved to hear you during that commercial break.
Yeah.
That next one afterwards. I bet you that was historic rant out of you.
Oh, it was.
About the New York
Wade
Jets.
Barrett. Wade was actually sitting next to me. Then we actually, as Raw ended, we actually went to, I think, to grab a beer somewhere, Hooters or something, and we watched the end of the game, and that they actually won.
Yeah, Xavier Gibson.
punt return.
Yeah. And we were like, oh my God, this could be the most amazing thing to ever happen to Zach Wilson. And then, of course,
Well, it was supposed to be. If Zach gets a chance to watch Aaron for a full season, and Aaron's success,
I don't know.
I mean, they could have.
You said earlier, I don't know if anybody can help that kid.
Yeah,
is what you said about.
Yeah.
He's a
Sweet boy.
He's a very, very sweet boy. Speaking of sweet boys, Jaylen Brown, sweet boy, lost his ring. Can anybody find it? He took to the internet saying, "Hey, anybody that was at the parade? There's like 1 million people. If anybody got my pinky ring, can we please talk about it? It wasn't his obvious championship ring because they haven't received that yet, but he did have a pinky ring that was lost during the parade. So if you keep an eye out in the streets of Boston, that would be great. Con man, obviously from the area. Yeah. What is the likelihood of some Bostonian finding this particular pinky ring and returning it to the owner? I think pretty high. They say needle in a haystack. No.
No,
because haystack is like a confined area. This is actually an entire city. So I think it's a little different area, but that's a nice pinky ring. I hope he gets back on his hand.
Yeah, I hope he does too. The odds of it being found, 100%, they will be found. The odds of it being returned, 0%. Everyone knows, hey, look, Jaylen.
That's in a pawn shop
This
already.
was incredible. No, that will be kept. That'll be a family heirloom for the next 200 years.
They can make so much money, though.
He did say cash reward as well.
It's going to be a lot.
Perhaps. You hold on to that.
You know what I'm worried about? Street sweeper, and I'm not talking about like an automatic weapon. I'm talking about actual street sweeper.
Yes.
Just
into the sewer.
And then that thing is gone.
Yeah, huge.
And it's so cool.
It's sick.
That is a very cool pinky ring. I mean, a very, very cool
Somebody
pinky ring.
Yeah, I mean, he'll buy.
You think somebody found it?
Oh, yeah. The sun hit that thing, I think. What the hell is that? Yeah, somebody found that before that parade was over.
Okay.
No doubt about it. I actually think that too. I think someone's holding on to this thing like, holy shit, I have Jaylen Brown's fucking pinky ring. I'm never letting this thing go.
And now they're trying to, now they know. And they're trying to figure out, like, I give it back. Good story.
Yeah, and I also probably get to meet Jaylen Brown, get a signed jersey, all that cool
Tickets.
shit.
Hey, let's think here, cuz.
Tickets, yeah.
Let's get tickets in
You
this
take his
entire.
money? Do they take his money if he gives him a cash reward?
Oh, yeah.
No doubt.
You take it?
I think you take the cash reward for sure, and it's cash, which is good for tax purposes. Not that I'm trying to, dry snitch on anybody, but I like that Jaylen Brown offered up cash reward, which is very nice. But also, cuz if you got that ring, it seems like he really likes it. We got an angle here. Don't do the Tom Brady thing.
No.
We just kind of hand it back, get a signed autograph, and then you keep it moving. Could have got tickets forever probably down there for the Buccaneers with that ball that the person had. So let's be smart here about this pinky ring. Let's not, hey, you're still a good person. Jaylen Brown's done a lot for the city, but I feel like you can maybe get tickets to a game or two here.
Yeah, but if it's like a $500,000 cash reward or dinner with Jay-Z, you take the dinner with Jay-Z, okay? Let's not be stupid here.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum.
That is always a thing, isn't it?
It's so stupid.
What are you taking?
The cash.
Amen.
What?
$500,000?
Yeah.
Dude.
So you're going to be able to earn $1 billion with what you learn over that fourth course of that 7-course
You're right.
meal.
It's called wealth.
It might really wow him too, and be like his next business partner. Be like, hey, do you want to buy the Nets with me? I'll pay for everything. You can just be 50% owner. You never know.
Yeah, because you got a full performance at dinner with Jay-Z now all of a sudden.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I know my capabilities. I'm not capable of that.
All you need is $501,000 from him to make that thing worth it. How about a dinner and somehow an investment of $501,000 from Jay-Z?
Right.
Now we did the whole thing.
Exactly.
How come we're always figuring these things out?
Who would you take to dinner?
Nobody.
Steve Jobs.
Jesus Christ.
Not even.
What?
Wow.
There's no one on the planet.
$500K tax free? 500?
Yeah, no one on the planet.
Well,
Russell Wilson.
No one on the planet.
7.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Not even close.
Not even
Bill,
7?
Bill Carr and Mike Tomlin.
No.
$500K.
Nobody.
Give it to me.
The Roonies.
I can't wait to go spend $10
love
on
them.
dinner tonight.
Yeah.
And then I'm on my way. All right. Well, now that we know that Tone Diggs is taking the cash. Give me the upfront money now. Okay. I'm not caring about long term. You win the lottery, you're taking the cash.
Yeah, up front, yeah.
Yeah. Everybody says you're supposed to do that because of tax purposes and everything. I think it'd be pretty cool to just get paid for the next 60 years of your life.
That would be neat.
That would be a pretty cool thing. If you live that long, obviously.
True.
That would be what you're banking on. Do you get to pass that off?
I would hope.
I hope.
Yeah.
I would
See,
hope
that's
so,
different
right?
then.
Have to.
Because if you get to pass it off, then I might change my mind.
But then you become a target to whoever it's being passed off to.
Oh, secession. Whoa. Yeah. Good call, AJ. How was the weekend for the Hawks? You guys did you watch all the sport? A lot of sports on this weekend.
A lot of sports. You know what? Honestly, I watched a good chunk of that USA-Bolivia game, and I feel like they weren't giving this Bolivia goalie enough credit. That dude stood on his head for the last, 30 minutes of that game. That dude was making all kind of saves.
It gives up a goal 2 minutes in, too. I mean, that's not easy to necessarily bounce back from. United States, Captain
But from
America.
all that all I heard watching all the post-game stuff was they said Bolivia is like the worst soccer team ever to live. Basically.
No.
Pretty much.
That's what. So I was getting texts from my friends that were on Concava, and they're like, "Don't judge this team off the red cones." And I'm like, "This is the best team in the country, in the world."
Side, yeah.
Yeah, you think Bolivia just didn't put a good team on the field? Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Basically invented soccer.
Bingo. They say Copa. What a goal.
They have 4 of the 10 best players in the world on their team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, their goalie being one of them.
Hold on, wait. So we just beat a shitty ass team?
No.
They need to sell it a little harder for us. They said the Bolivia team hasn't won in 45 games in this tournament. They've never.
What? I don't think that's a real stat.
They haven't lost in 45.
Was that Grok? Was that Grok that was saying that? Because Grok.
No, it was Alexi Lawless in the crew.
Alexi.
That guy's
come on.
always pissed off
a
about
hater.
everything.
It was our first game in the Copa. Obviously, down there in Jerry World, we had to put on a show. We go 2-0. We don't want to give away all our tricks. This goalie, you say, stood on his head. That seems to be one that he should have got. But anyways, that was at 44 minutes into the
Second
game.
half.
Well, they got that tough Panama team coming up next.
What's your problem?
Panama actually
such a
did
prick.
look good against Uruguay last night. That'll be a good game.
Yeah, Uruguay's a good team.
Yeah, they're real good. They're really
Filthy
good.
goal from Panama.
Uruguay is sick.
They're good. They're a tough side.
Well, how much of that U.S. game did you watch?
Oh, man, I watched the whole thing. I sat there. I was on a plane yesterday, flying into Indianapolis, had it right there, watching the whole thing. People were looking at me like, you watch this stuff? I said, oh, hell yeah, every minute.
USA is going to win the World Cup.
I know one player on the team.
What's his name?
Pulisic.
Oh, my God.
Son of a bitch.
Christian Pulisic.
Pulisic. And I know that he did really good this year because he played in Milan.
Yeah.
And he had a really good year.
There you go.
Bingo, you get it.
They are the only guy I didn't have any clue on the team.
But that's all you need to know. He scored 2 minutes into the game.
Oh, that's right. He's the guy who scored.
And had an assist.
And he scored in the last friendly against Brazil on a free kick, like very early. He's coming into full form.
Yeah.
He's coming into Captain America.
So this
form.
is like just this. So this thing they're playing in right now.
Matters. It matters. It's
does.
Copa America. It matters.
There's tournaments every weekend, Cole.
So this is just as big as like the Euros.
Bingo.
Bigger.
Yeah.
Bigger.
It's bigger.
I wouldn't go that far.
It goes Copa,
Well, I
then the
thought we-
World Cup.
Yeah,
No, it goes
World
Concava.
Cup.
Sorry.
TST.
Copa.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
TST, Concava, Copa, World Cup,
Damn.
MLS Cup.
MLS Cup, El Tráfico.
She believes. Don't forget about the She believes.
And then there is the Euro. So you start doing the math there, it's a good 6-7 stages above the Euros.
Oh, really? Okay.
Still
So
a good tournament,
I
though.
was in Scotland a couple weeks ago, and I found this pub literally in a cornfield outside of Edinburgh.
That's
and I
awesome.
walked in because I just wanted to have a beer and eat some food, right? And I walk in, and it's mobbed.
Adds
There's
up.
300 people in there. And I had to get this little seat in the corner of the bar like this, and I couldn't understand anything. They had, apparently it was like the biggest soccer game Scotland's had like in 200 years.
Yeah, they're playing Germany to kick off the Euros. Host country, Germany, hosted Scotland.
They were excited. Like, it was so much fun. The atmosphere was great, pounding beers. People were going crazy for about 8 minutes.
Yeah, they got fucking
And then
pumped.
everybody left.
Yeah, Germany.
What?
Germany. Yeah, Germany.
Because it was like 2-0, like 15 minutes.
Tough
into the
draw.
game.
Germany's a host country too. Scotland had a tough draw, but if we know anything about the Scots, they drank and they're tough and they'll bounce back.
Oh, yeah.
Just like Drew McIntyre, who quit last week and he was back on Friday.
He's back.
I thought he quit. I was so bummed out.
We were all bummed out.
Y'all were.
You weren't bummed out enough.
No, not at all. He's a hypocrite.
What do you mean?
Whoa. And by the way, on
Take
this
it easy,
show,
Cole.
he embarrassed me on your program, and you allowed him to do it and didn't defend me either.
No, I allow my guests to speak freely. It's actually caused a lot of problems for us.
Yeah, but you didn't defend me at all.
Well, that's his opinion. He's allowed to have his opinion.
Yeah, people talk, Cole.
Yeah. I got a text message from Zito while I was on an airplane when that happened, and it said, "You should hear what Drew McIntyre is saying about you." So then I went on social media and I saw it, and there was absolutely no defense from you at all.
Well,
At all.
journalism. I'm letting a person speak his mind. We would like to learn the opinions of our guests. That's what we do here. That we are
But journalists
hospitable.
are supposed to balance. They're supposed to balance what happens. So if
Well,
someone
I
says
was
something-
balanced one way, and then he laid out his side. I'm like, all right, that's a valid case.
How many journalists are talking to a Scottish psychopath?
True.
Warrior.
Well, I know, but he's also. we
Scottish
saw him
psychopath.
Friday. Like, man's psychopath. You
Yeah.
push him too far.
But he wouldn't say he's a psycho.
No, he's actually quite calculated, quite cerebral. But, I mean, CM Punk fucked around and found out. Pushed him too far.
In Chicago.
Yeah.
Not one, not two.
Is Drew McIntyre going to be in Indianapolis here tonight?
I heard rumors that he may be, but I don't know for sure.
I hope not.
CM Punk okay?
He was in trouble.
He was.
He was a sack of bones,
Yeah,
wasn't he?
bloodied and
Yeah, he
battered.
was.
Unfortunately, people did see him drive.
Yeah, he drove out. And
Yeah.
Well, he went.
Well, he's able to
he went
figure
to
it
the
out.
hospital first, then he came back because he had to get his car. He
got
couldn't leave
treatment.
it in the parking lot all night.
No, that's a good point.
You know?
McIntyre will probably flip it.
Is Ricochet
Exactly.
still in the hospital?
I don't know. I have not got an
I
update.
haven't got an update either.
Okay, that's not good.
On life
Okay.
support, I think.
Yeah, they might have flipped.
Cole
him.
knows something.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
You can look at his face. He knows something.
Yeah, Cole figured it out.
I said on the air we may never see the guy again.
Did they?
No!
I don't know how bad the injuries are.
That's what happens when you run into the breaker.
Yeah, Braun Breaker's a problem. I mean, Braun Breaker is...
He'll be in action tonight. Wait till you see this guy in action.
Oh, wait till you see Braun Breaker.
They might have put Ricochet's brain in Chad Gable's body.
Whoa! Now the conspiracy.
Could you imagine?
Wait to see those moves tonight.
All right, let's get the hell out of here. Big night tonight, Game 3 of the College World Series. First pitch, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Game 7 of the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC. And Monday Night Raw, live from Indianapolis, Indiana! 8 p.m. Eastern on USA Network. It's a packed evening, AJ. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about all of it. You are the greatest people on earth. Thank you so much for allowing us to do this for a living. Michael Cole, great work today,
Thank
Bob.
you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Mr. H, thank you for stopping by, Mr.
Thank
H.
you, Mr. H.
Suit Tim, good to see you guys.
Baby Tim.
PK Saban, way to go. Ryan McGee, hell yeah.
Yeah, boy.
We're a program today. All right, tonight should be awesome. Let's enjoy all of it, okay? Because we're coming up on a time here
Yeah.
where there isn't going to be as much shit to watch that matters. So let's enjoy this, let's appreciate this, and let's remember, any day you're above ground's a good one. Never forget it. Hey, be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might